I step into the day with the dawn ringing in my ears. Oh, I tune into my TV show. No better way, I gotta get myself into gear. Let's go. Oh, and I feel good today with my wake up in the morning Expresso. I feel good today. It's my feel good breakfast show.
Yeah, baby. Is it because there's three of us here?
Maybe.
Is it because of lime green or olive green?
Every box is thick this morning.
You guys look fantastic,
Thank you.
man.
You look good.
No, you
I'm so lucky today. If I'm smiling a lot, it's because I wake up next to these.
Look at that, man. And we were loving your adventures yesterday, by the way, dude. It
so
looked like
much fun. Still frothing from it. What a crazy trip.
FOMO, dude.
Yeah.
FOMO. So we'll hopefully relive a little bit of that this morning, but we're going to have a lot of fun and we're going to take a bit of a parental focus this morning, yeah?
Yeah, definitely. But we're also connecting with you on social media. We're talking about if you are a lonely ranger or if you like a social butterfly, how do you connect with... I don't know what this is, but for some reason, when I find that when I'm in my 20s or where I'm at right now, it's difficult to connect with people. I can't be a social butterfly anymore. I'm more of a lonely ranger and I take a step back. So maybe connect with us. Are you a social butterfly? Is it easy for you to connect, make new friends? Or are you a bit of a lonely ranger? What about
I don't believe you. I'm pretty sure when it comes to presenters, you're a lot of extroverts. Gee, I know you're probably friends with everybody in the world.
I know, I've become a hermit. Over the last year and a half, I'm like in my house. I don't leave. I love connecting with people. That's the best part of our job, is the fact that we get to connect with people on a daily basis. We meet like 100 new people, so I love it. And we want to foster those social skills within our kids as well. So Chanel's Mercer is going to chat a little bit about developing those social skills, and we're also going to bring you an awesome animation. And I know you're really excited because
I'm really excited. As a kid, of course, keeping to that theme, I've always seen the gladiators performing on TV, and they're back. Are you ready? So much magic coming through on the show this morning. But first up, let's find out what's happening in the news with Carlitos.
How's it going? Thanks a lot for that lovely warm welcome. My name's Carl Wasty. Let's take a look at the news on your Feel Good Breakfast Show. And starting off with the National Department of Health yesterday conceded that its COVID-19 vaccination program had lost momentum due to vaccine hesitancy. Newly appointed Deputy Minister of Health, Dr. Sibongiseni Dlomu, said initially the country struggled to secure vaccine supplies, but now the department was grappling with vaccine hesitancy. This as a considerable number of vaccines is available and many more are expected. In the next fortnight, those 18 and older and almost every South African will be eligible for the vaccine. The Cape Town Metro has submitted a 10-point plan to the new Minister of Tourism, Lindiwe Sisulu, to bring the city's tourism sector back on its feet. City Mayoral Committee member James Foss said one of the projects involves working visas for foreigners to attract a wider category of tourists. He said South Africa must also be removed from Britain's so-called red list as soon as possible. Moreover, Foss asked Sisulu to approve the US airline Delta Airlines' application for direct flights to Cape Town. Staying with international news, but on the continent, Zambian President-elect 59-year-old Hakainde Hichilema yesterday promised the country a better democracy in his debut address to the nation. The business tycoon and veteran opposition leader pledged to foster a better democracy, rule of law, restore order, respect of human rights, liberties and freedoms, and to be president for all Zambians, for those who voted for him and for those who did not. It had been Chilema's sixth bid for the top job. New Zealand is back in strict national lockdown after one 58-year-old man tested positive for COVID-19 with no immediate evidence that he traveled abroad. Officials assume that the infection caused by a highly infectious Delta coronavirus variant, and the country of some 5 million people has recorded just 26 COVID-19 related deaths since the start of the pandemic. Prime Minister Jacinda Ardern said yesterday they needed to stop the spread early, as they have seen the dire consequence of taking too long to act in other countries. And next, what the great Swiss tennis maestro got up his sleeve. Roger Federer, the Swiss maestro, is arguably the greatest tennis player of all time. His grace on the court has been called poetry in motion. However, of late, his knees are really troubling him. I can relate. He has pulled out of the American Open due to start soon and faces a third knee operation. But the Fed, as he is internationally known, may still have an ace up his sleeve, an alternate career in table tennis. Unbelievable, right? Check the 40-year-old showing off his table tennis skills and you'll change your mind for sure. US tennis star John Isner and Bear Grylls, British adventurer and television host, were gobsmacked, to say the least, and said Isner, this is what he said, Forrest Gump, eat your heart out, alluding to Hanks's blockbuster movie. And Grylls said, and I quote, I knew it, you've been secretly practicing. Sadly, only time will tell if we'll see this incredible tennis ace in action again. So all the best to Roger Federer. I didn't mean to steal the sports news from Graham. It was just a precursor. But here he is with the proper sports news.
Well, Carl, life is like a box of chocolates when it comes to Springbok selections. It seems Springbok head coach Jacques Nienaber has made a number of changes to his team for the second Rugby Championship test up against Argentina in Nelson Mandela Bay on Saturday. Nienaber, in fact, making a total of 11 changes, 6 in the backline, 5 up front to his team from last week. Lut de Jager will run out for his 50th test cap, and Marvin Orie will earn his first test start, and the uncapped Nicholas Janse van Rensburg has been named on the replacements bench. That match between South Africa and Los Pumas will kick off at 5:05 on Saturday afternoon. Then on to cricket. The Proteas are scheduled to face Australia in their ICC Men's T20 World Cup opener at the Abu Dhabi International Cricket Stadium on the 23rd of October this year. South Africa will face the team from Down Under in the first game of the Super 12 stage of the competition. The ICC unveiling the full schedule of the 16-team event yesterday. The Proteas have been grouped in a tough one with England, Australia and the West Indies, and then 2 other teams yet to be determined, qualifiers. The tournament is scheduled to begin on the 17th of October, with the tournament's final scheduled to be played out on the 14th of November 2021. Then finally on to football. Bayern Munich, they've secured their first trophy of a brand new season and retained the German Super Cup with a 3-1 win over Borussia Dortmund at Signal Iduna Park last night. Star forward Robert Lewandowski, he netted twice, and then Thomas Müller hit the back of the net once to guide their team to the victory. That means Bayern have now won all of their last 6 matches against Dortmund. Well, we'll touch on those headlines again in about an hour or so. The weather has been crazy of late. Let's get an update and see what the temperatures have in store for today.
Thank you so much, Graham Richards, for that sports update. Some good news, though, with regards to climate change. Eskom said yesterday it plans to reduce its output of coal-fired power by 8,000 to 12,000 megawatts through plant closures over the next decade, a cut that amounts to some 30% of its current capacity. Eskom, Africa's largest greenhouse gas emitter, is pitching an almost 150 billion rand plan to global lenders that would see it able to shut the vast majority of its coal-fired plants by 2050 and embrace renewable energy. Eskom plans to repower Komati, which is ideally positioned to be a flagship just energy transition project. Similar projects are planned at the Grootvlei, Hendrina and Camden power plants, all of which are scheduled for closure by 2025. Now, Eskom hopes to act as an anchor market for electric vehicles, which it views as an important growth opportunity for its business. And then, of course, as many of our viewers know, we love a good sunrise. And we thought we would start the day off with an inspiring quote this morning. So, give every day the chance to become the most beautiful day of your life. And we couldn't agree more. Each new day is the opportunity to make the present day better than the previous one. Again, we also want to say thank you so much to all of our viewers that take the time to share their sunrise views with us. We start the morning off with Angus Murphy from Cape Town, who shared this moody image of Table Mountain in the distance just as the cold front is hitting the mother city this morning. And then a little further up the coast, Chantal Bugarith from Umhlanga shared this contrasting image to Cape Town of a sunny and gorgeous morning as the sun rises over the ocean. We absolutely love seeing it, so please continue to share it with us on our Expresso Facebook morning page. But right now, let's have a first look at the temperatures for this Wednesday. We start off with you, Polokwane. Do expect a low of 9 today. That will peak at 25. If you find yourself in Umbombela, expect a range of 17 to 32. Pretoria, for you, it is 11-24. Johannesburg coming through with a minimum of 10 and a maximum of 22. Mahikeng, 6-27. Klerksdorp can also expect some sunshine coming their way with a low of 5 and a high of 26. Kimberley, for you, it is 3-23. And then Bloemfontein with -1 with a high of 22. Richards Bay can expect a minimum of 17 and a maximum of 26. And Pietermaritzburg, following following with a low of 12 and a high of 25. If you do find yourself in South Africa's playground today, Durban, do expect a low of 18 and a high of 22. Mthatha, for you, it is a range of 8 to 19, and then East London can be seen with a low of 11 and a high of 18. Cradock, 420. Gqeberha, for you, it is 10-17. George, rain is coming your way, unfortunately, with a low of 10 and a high of 16. And then the mother city, Cape Town, can also expect a 75% chance of rain today with a low of 10 and a high of 16. Worcester, for you, it is 7-13. Sutherland, 0-9. And then last but definitely not least, Uppington ranges from 4 to 20. Well, that is where I leave your weather here on your Feel Good Breakfast Show.
It is your Feel Good Breakfast Show, and we've got so much entertainment for you. We've packed it all in. It's concentrated entertainment. It's going to be delicious, okay? It really is going to be. Talking about delicious, give me a second. So what we have is... So we have to get some advice, and that's why we got the best experts for you.
Yes, of
and
course.
Shanaz Moss will be in to make sure that you are well informed.
Feeding us with all the knowledge we need. And on top of that, we've got the animation school coming through with a beautiful segment, and it's called Flow, and you do not want to miss it. We'll see you right after the break. Don't go anywhere.
Get in the flow.
Only you can make my day. It's my Feel Good Breakfast Show.
Oh, yes, it is. It is your Feel Good Breakfast Show. Welcome to it, S3. Now, listen. We love Wednesdays, so it's all about the animation school, and they're talking about the flow. Now, the sea is a wondrous and mighty place to explore and play out one's curiosities. A little octopus determined on some adventure is finding it difficult to make friends. However, in the narrative that's depicted in the short film Flow, which was created by third-year students from the animation school in 2019, this all changes. Let's take a look. I know I don't say anything besides, every single time I watch an animation. It's just like, aww.
That was brilliant, and it's from our own animation school. I'm giving it a 10, Tickle. I think it's perfect, honestly. As a production, wowza, I'm sorry. I'm here all morning. When our children aren't under our watchful eye, as you know, and we're in our loving company, we want this for them to be, you know, kept safe, and also to keep some good company, maybe even make some good friends. And that's why we have somebody here to give some great advice to you and how to teach your children some social skills. Then we have our favorite registered counsellor, Shanaz Moos, on standby for you. We called her in, we signed the papers, and here she is.
So if you want to be good at something, you must practice. So that, I think, can be said of most things, developing good social skills included. And this morning, registered counsellor Shanaz Moos joins us on the couch to share some tips on how parents can help their children develop important social skills that will probably be survival skills when they are adults. Shanaz, always so good to connect with you. So my child, when he's talking to me, talks like a 12-year-old who's studying a university degree, is just the most amazing intellectual being. He meets a stranger in a shopping aisle somewhere, and the first thing that comes out of his mouth is poop stink. And how do we develop these social skills within our children? Because they're kids after all, and you want them to be kids.
Yeah, you know what? There's also the social skills. I think sometimes when I meet adults, I wonder,
Yeah, exactly.
some big gaps here. With just, it's basic skills we use to interact and communicate with other people, and they can be taught. So this thing about children will naturally evolve into etiquette, manners, and no, it's a skill they see and that they learn.
That's a difficult one because I think most of us, when we go into our home environment, we want to be relaxed. And I'm quite a city parent, as you can imagine, with my kids, and I like that vibe and that energy between us. But as you've quite rightly pointed out, you're actually doing them a disservice later in life if they don't have that foundation. So how do we go about knowing that they're going to be sponges absorbing all of our own behavior? What do we need to be doing to be able to establish those ground rules?
So we actually need to just check in where our kids are with basic social skills like listening, following directions and instructions.
Just listen to me.
Yeah, with the F word thrown in. So those are the simple stuff. Then there's a little bit complex things like problem-solving skills, you know, conflict resolution, when you're being bullied or being picked on. So those are all part of social skills that children learn. So we as a parent get faced with many scenarios like your kids are fighting. Hello, this is a conflict. You know, so how do you, and you must teach kids how to work things out. We often intervene and slice through the conflict instead of empowering the kids to understand how to work out their own disagreement.
To be able to deal with it. And it helps, I suppose, if there's siblings in the space, because you can give them a bit of breathing room. Being able to ask a question, it might sound overly simplified, but it's probably one of the most important social skills we have. Certainly as an adult, you need to know how to ask that. How do we teach our children to ask questions in the right way?
That's one of the harder ones, because obviously you're asking a child to have a level of self-esteem and confidence to initiate a conversation. You know how many kids don't put their hands up in class when they don't understand? So, or in the home setting where they're confused by what was just told to them. They're afraid to ask a question because of how we react. And we often say, weren't you listening? And it could be just, I need more clarity, I need a little bit more detail, or I need repetition, just plain, because we need to be able to, because when children ask questions, they take charge of their own learning.
Yeah.
Do you know? And that helps their brain development. So you must allow, I don't know if you're already in that stage with the why,
Yeah.
why. That drives parents crazy now. Not the why question, just like the other
It's more
questions.
because I often don't know the answer. I think that's why it upsets me. It's because you'll ask me a simple question, I'm like, I don't actually know. All of this being said, you still want to be able to protect your child in that space and kind of know their limits. You know, maybe using the example, you want your child to be gregarious and out there and to make friends, but maybe that's not their personality type. Why is it so important to know your child's limits, and how do you establish that kind of safe framework to operate with them?
So no secret, but I'm a very out there person. But I don't have out there children, not all of them. And my youngest was 14, told me the other day, but I don't like the attention on me, Mommy, I'm not like you. So he struggles with social anxiety since he was very little, and in grade 4, everyone had to write goals for the year. And, you know, first in maths, first in class, and all this academic. And I found my son's page in the classroom, and it said, make more eye contact. He actually, which is actually a social skill, he realized that eye contact is such a vital connector. So he, I don't know what age is grade 4, I mean, that's like a long time. But he knew that when I make eye contact, I connect with people, yet he couldn't because he was shy. So over the years, him and I have worked on self-esteem, worked on his soft skills, worked on his hard skills to get him to, he's quite a conversationalist now. People are very surprised when they meet him in the now, remembering how he couldn't look up and greet people, those kinds of things.
Know their limitations, know your own limitations, I suppose, in that space. Maybe have a good hard look at yourself in that sense. Most likely, the behavior that your child is exhibiting is either as a result of yours, or they are mirroring your behavior in some way. Not every child is the same, but there are a couple of standards in parenting that really do work, and the bottom line is your child needs good social skills to survive as an adult. So we're going to continue on that discussion in just a moment. Shanaz is not going anywhere.
Oh, you can make my day.
Welcome back. A little bit earlier in the show, in fact, moments ago, registered counsellor Shanaz Moores shared her thoughts on the importance of developing good social skills and how parents can help their child with this and possibly help ourselves in the process. We're continuing that conversation right now. And I'm going to stress this because I've learned through all of our discussions in the past that so much of what we teach our child is exhibited by us more than us telling them. You know, they really do. So what does a good role model look like? How should we be behaving as parents in this crazy world of ours?
So, you know, we often think we are using our social skills when we interact with our kids, like saying please and thank you. But I've actually, I don't know how many years ago, my son pointed out to me, you never say please and you never say thank you.
Yet you're telling him to do
Yes,
it every time he
yes.
engages with you.
So I processed that and realized, actually, yes, I give a command.
And he made eye contact with you when he said it as well.
This is my other son. This is my older son, who's 22 now. So you give a command and then you expect to be followed. I was a bit of a dictator back then, you know.
Really?
Angry mommy, she didn't take anything.
You keep saying this, I don't believe it, man.
Look here, so one day I'm going to bring a set of home movies with Angry Mommy on. I'm going to play a snippet for you, and then you're going to put it next to this mommy, and you would not know these two ladies are not the same lady, but they are still me.
The value of process work, and a child will hold that mirror up to your face, and you've got to come to grips with yourself. Listening. It's something I struggle with as an adult, I think, certainly within relationship, and I get quite single-minded, you know, I call it tunnel vision, and you kind of feel like, but as the dad, the breadwinner, as the guy going out there and supporting the family, I've got to do this and I've got to, but it's vital. How do we encourage and foster and teach our children how to listen well? Because that's a really soft skill. It's a difficult one.
And it's a much-needed one because it's an ongoing relationship breaker. Maker or breaker, your ability to listen to someone, not listen just to make as if you're hearing them, but to take the content in, to process, because there's an emotional aspect to listening. And what people don't understand is that relationships suffer, even with your child, when you don't listen to them, yet you want them to listen to you. So it's a little bit, and I often see people like kids taking the mom's face and turning it and says, mommy, mommy, because they feel you're not listening, not making eye contact also, you know, or looking at your phone or whatever it is. The phone has been like killing listening skills. So people are like, yeah, I heard you, and then they rattle back, you want four, you want four, and like in this monotone, and there's no emotional connection in that listening.
Connect.
You need, so the listening part builds relationships and makes people feel heard, seen, and loved.
You mentioned the phone, and I'm going to kind of open a whole different can of worms here. We are seeing a particular kind of social skill being exhibited on social media, where so many of those skills, unfortunately, the teacher stepping in is going to be TikTok. It's going to be social media platforms that is portraying a certain kind of life, a certain kind of personality, a certain kind of facial expression. I mean, that's at the heart of so many of these little performances that appear. How do we kind of counterbalance that or put it in perspective for our children so that they understand that that's a version of reality, not reality?
Yeah, I live with a teenager, so I see these expressions that I ask, what is that? And it's something face, or this face is, Mom, you're so old. Or, so I always say, but that's not, my daughter always says what I used to say to her, your face is going to get stuck like that.
Yeah, if the wind changes direction,
He pulls this face, like, but it's part of social media that he's picked up, but it's like a reactionary face to something. So instead of saying something, he makes this face that just drives me insane. So that conversation about having a context, where does that come from? Oh, I see you keep doing this weird thing, or a gesture, or a face. Oh, yeah, no, it's like, it's trending, it means this when you see that. So if you don't know what's going on, you are going to be...
Can you do the face?
No, how? No.
What does the face look like?
It's got something to do with Jim Carrey in The Mask, I think. One of those. And if you ever watch The Mask, you'll know how ridiculously over the top.
I love it.
Yeah.
It's actually funny, we've come full circle because that's one of my son's favorite movies in the world. He absolutely loves it. Any final tips, sage words of advice for parents struggling, I think, with social development in that space?
A lot of the things can be learned by your behavior, but also role play. Role play listening, role play manners, role play etiquette. When you read a story, just check in between. Like, oh, what did you think about that? Or when you want to see your kids share your social skill, you acknowledge the sharing. don't acknowledge the not sharing, because you want to acknowledge that which you want more of.
Okay.
So you
Positive
have to,
reinforcement.
thank you for being so kind to your sister. Thank you for sharing with your brother. That is a builder of the children latch onto that feeling of affirmation, and that will help with social skills. Being self-propelled, they will actually do it more on their own.
Thank you. You can send me the invoice. This was a great session. I really enjoyed this one. There are tools that you can use to develop your own social skills and foster a really healthy social attitude in your children, because they're going to need it when they're grown up, whether they're introverted or extroverted. They need to be able to engage positively with the world around them.
Always coming through with the good stuff, Shanaz. I'll definitely be adding one session for myself. I think there's so much great knowledge that comes from these, and especially when it comes to being a parent as well. Looking forward to that one day, hopefully. Obviously, every now and then we also do need some good news and inspiration, and that's to let us know that everything will be okay. Now, when it comes to period poverty and helping to keep our girls in school, Mina is the ultimate game changer.
Absolutely. Mina is a menstrual cup that can be used for 5 years, which means you don't have to buy and go through about 2,000 tampons or sanitary pads over the same amount of time, which is a massive money saver. We'll be speaking about this, I mean, since last week already. You get to save so much.
It's so important right now. And on top of that, Nature Boy loves this product too, because it's a little bit more sustainably developed and environmentally friendly. Mina is made out of 100% grade silicone and is super safe for sensitive skin too. Now, it comes in 2 sizes to suit your needs, and it's perfectly comfortable to wear while swimming or working out too. Now, it's super easy to clean as well, and all you need is hot water or tissues. Simple as that.
All the boxes. But the main reason we love Mina is because it is helping to end period poverty in South Africa, and it's also giving dignity and confidence back to our most vulnerable women. Now, you can help this cause by contributing to the Mina Foundation by donating a Mina to a girl who needs it the most. All you have to do is visit backabuddy.co.za/Mina-Rise and make a contribution. Every small bit of help makes a huge difference, and of course you can make a difference as well. So in the box, of course, you're getting a small cup if you have a light flow, and then you also have a regular cup if you have a bit of more of a heavier flow. You also get some face and body masks from Lush as well, and all the pamphlets.
Okay, I love that.
Everything in
and
here.
The packaging is really cool. It's really neat as well. I didn't think it was even the size, which is something that's quite convenient, I guess, at the same time. So that's really cool.
Of course, you can make a difference as well for all the girls in need as well.
Let's take a quick peek at social media for a second. I asked you a question a little earlier, and is it, are you a lone ranger? Or are you a social butterfly when it comes to making friends? And why? Which is important. I love to hear the whys. Let's take a look at some of your comments. And starting off with Snacks Madolo. I like the name, Snacks Madolo. Oh, well, I used to be a social butterfly, but since I'm getting older, not anymore. And then Ntlanta Elsie saying, good morning, family. Yes, I am a social butterfly. Keep my mind away from things. It makes me laugh. It makes me busy. I enjoy being social. Then Joan Cameron saying, I'm a social butterfly. I love having my friends and family around me. Sadly, with COVID, we are affected by socializing as I would like to do, but I still have my close friend and sister here. And of course, visiting every odd week or so. As long as you're keeping safe, that's so important. We have a few more of your comments. I want to get through as many of them as possible because you take the effort, so I want to give some effort to you as well. So let's go over to Kutala just saying good morning. I love it. I love the greeting. It just makes sense. Kito Metse is saying, I want to be a social butterfly just for social adventure. Pity nowadays the social life is costly and one needs material possessions in order to fit in or be recognized. Kito Metse, I'm just going to say that if you do have that type of feeling around the people around you, remember that you are valued without any material aspects, and people who can see that deserve to be in your social circle. Just letting you know. Also, dropping into Zeno saying, life's too short to be a lone ranger. We all need each other. No man is an island. And always remember, one hand wash the other so that both can be clean. Basically saying that there's a spirit of Ubuntu and we have to stick together. And I completely agree with that. There's a lot of us on this planet. We should look after the planet, but also look after each other, which is so important. So keep on sending those messages through to the Expresso Facebook page, Social Butterfly or Lone Ranger. And stand by. I don't want you to go anywhere because we have an espresso recipe coming up and even gladiators. Stay there.
Becoming a parent fills you with delight, nerves, and questions. Now, an original South African app has the answers. Whether you're expecting your bundle of joy or raising a preschooler, the Purity Journey Journal app is a breeze to use. Sign up for free and choose from a host of features, including 24/7 medical assistance, expert tips, and milestone tracker. Sign up to the Purity Journey Journal app for whenever you need some guidance along your parenting journey.
Nourish your skin with Ingram's Camphor Cream, enriched with camphor and glycerine. Trusted to restore and repair dry skin. Ingram's, your skin, your brave. It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Yes, it is. It is your feel-good breakfast show here on S3. And guess what time it is? It's time for the Gladiators. Yes, you heard correct. The Gladiators television series will finally be making its return. The TV show hit the small screen in the late 90s and early noughties and now makes its return after a 20-year hiatus. Now, the show, loved by so many, saw competitors face several obstacles like the wrecking ball and a wobbling bridge. I don't know if you remember it, but it's definitely a throwback. Adira was included in the Gladiator lineup earlier this year, and she joins us in the studio to chat about the show's return and the anti-bullying campaign. Adira, I have to do this. Gladiators, are you ready?
First of all, I'm suddenly feeling so old because I was so connected to the Gladiator. I can't believe it's been 20 years.
It's 20 years.
It's crazy. It was such a phenom back then, and I have no doubt it's going to be embraced even more now. 20 years down the line, a new generation of gladiators. So first of all, congratulations.
Thank you so much.
How do you feel being included in this family? Because you guys really will become a family, and it's a pretty hardcore job.
Well, we're already a family. There are 24 of us currently. But yeah, I'm honoured. Definitely.
It's going to be so much fun. What kind of a gladiator are you going to be? Are you going to be nice? Are you going to be hardcore? Are you intimidating?
I'm the dark and mysterious one.
Ooh.
Yes.
just looking at your pictures already, you can definitely see all that mystery coming through, but you're also doing it with a purpose this time. You're talking about the anti-bullying campaign. The Gladiators is going all around South Africa. Take us through that, what this campaign means to you and the Gladiators.
Yes, so we have started the 1st of August. We were in Eastern Cape, and we're currently busy with the new travelling plans and everything to go out to Eastern Cape again, just to finish where we started. And for me, it's a big thing to see the hero on the kids' faces. It's amazing. So the campaign means a lot to me, and I think that's why I'm part of it as well.
And it sends a very positive message. Now, I was very closely connected to Gladiators in its previous iteration. We used to do the road shows, got to know the athletes, and I call you guys athletes because you've got to be so multidisciplined and stay obviously unbelievably fit, but you've got to know yourself and your strengths for each particular discipline. What are your strengths and weaknesses, would you say?
On the course, I think I'm not allowed to say because if I say my weakness, they will go for my weakness. So
Say chocolate.
chocolate and pizza. So for me,
For all of
my
us.
strengths is I have a lot of self-confidence.
Really?
And if I put my head on something, I pull through to it. My weakness, I will say I'm a bad loser. I think everybody are a bad loser, but for me, it's like, I need to win this. So yes, I think that's my weakness.
That's good.
I'm sure
That's
there's
good on the
girls-
show. It's going to work. You need it.
And I'm sure there's so many people out there watching now being like, how can we sign up? How can we become a part of the Gladiator squad, a part of the team? How can people do this?
So for now, we're looking for contestants. The Gladiator squad is full, obviously, but we need to get contenders in signing up to come against us in a arena of fire. So you're more than welcome to go to the Gladiator website, and I think you have Andre's details as well to send him on WhatsApp or to get connected to him.
Yeah, we've got that number on screen,
Yes.
and we'll keep it up there, and we'll keep it up on our
Yes,
social media
please.
pages. I had a mate back in the day who actually won one of the series, and it took a titanic effort. It was so hardcore.
Yes.
What advice do you have for contenders, for people wanting to compete? What do they need to do? How do they need to train? Is it a cardio thing? Is it a strength thing? Is it a mental thing?
It's a bit of everything: strength, cardio, fitness. Your mind needs to be on the right place, but I think it's all in here.
Definitely. I have to ask this one more time. Adira, are you
ready?
I'm ready!
I didn't realize how ready I was for this, but I'm ready for it. All the best of luck. I have no doubt that you guys are going to be a smash hit. South Africans need this kind of positive entertainment. There's something just so awesome about it. So I'm looking forward to seeing you put Raul through his paces a bit later this
can't
morning as well.
wait.
Those guns are ready, and they are not on safety this morning. But you can visit gladiatorsouthafrica.co.za to get all of the information, or you can send a WhatsApp to 082 578 7855. If you want to be a contender, do it. Jump at the opportunity. Get yourself on TV, yes, but also put yourself through one of the most grueling physical challenges, mental challenges that I think you will ever face. It is magical, but Adira is not going anywhere. She's going to be training with Raul a little bit later, and we will really look forward to that.
Are you ready? I cannot wait to have that session. But before we do, let's figure out a few things and solve some conundrums. Now, can you decide between coffee, peppermint, and cheesecake? Well, I don't think any of us in the studio can either. And the good news is you do not have to at all. Now, this cheesecake combines all your favorite flavors into one impossible to resist dessert. Now, it's our Nespresso coffee and peppermint baked cheesecake. And you're to show us how is Chef Chumi in the building.
Yes, I'm also ready. I hear the gladiators are ready. We're going to be gladiating up in this kitchen.
Yeah, let's do it. I
and
love
to
it.
start it off, you're going to get started with the coffee because we need that.
Yes.
It's a very important element for our cheesecake.
We're using the voluto.
Yes, sir.
Right? I love
Yes,
this.
sir.
It's a great balance, nice acidity to this as well. It's got a sweet, like sort of a biscuity sweet note. So I think this is going to go well with almost any dessert, and especially this one that we're making right now.
Especially the peppermint flavors that we have here. You can actually also get started with the base of our...
Hey, you're putting me to work, yeah?
Of course, today we're not playing, right?
Right, so this looks like crushed tea biscuits, am I
Yes,
correct? And
correct.
then,
just some butter, melted butter.
ooh, a cup of butter. Nothing but the good stuff. All right.
Nothing but
so
the
I'll
good
get my mixing on that. What are you doing on your side?
I've got the filling over here. So we've started off with just a base of cheese, cream cheese.
Yeah.
I've added a little bit of sugar. The only thing I'm trying to do is just to loosen it up first before I add everything else.
Okay.
And then in there, I'm going to go in with our eggs. Ideally, you'd want to do this one at a time, but I feel like if I'm going to be on gladiator mode, then I can just, you know,
Then we're
sort of
going
pour
ham
in.
in the kitchen.
So I'm going to mix in my eggs with our cream cheese, and then thereafter, I'll go in with the very important element for our cheesecake, which is going to be our essence, as well as our caramel that we're adding into this, and then the sweetness, which will be the sugar as well.
Sounds like you're speaking poetry right now, using all these words, just getting all the feels propped up proper this morning. But that's how we're doing it out here in the kitchen, of course. This is a beautiful recipe inspired by Nespresso. I'm just so keen to see how these flavors are going to infuse. I'm talking about the fact that you mentioned it's got a low bitterness to it as well, but that medium roast, it's not too hot, it's not too long, It's got a nice bit of a grind to it as well. So that's what I'm looking forward to see how you, the master, put this all together. Because yes, it is a favorite for all of us. My base, this can be the base,
It
right?
looks good, yes.
Looks like it's done. Can I start applying it to the tray?
Please start
All right,
doing
we're
the
going
work
gladiator
there.
mode here in the kitchen.
And then while you're doing that, can I also just ask you to pour, yes,
2 espressos of Voluto, warm,
into our
fresh, and
mixture.
ready
You can
for
pour
you.
it in while I whisk, because I'm trying to use my
Sweet.
hands here.
Let me help you over here.
There we go. That'll also help with loosening the rest of this cheesecake for us. And then what we're going to do is we're going to pop all of this into our tart shell after you've mixed in everything else. So the whole idea is that this is going to go into the oven to bake, because it is a baked cheesecake. So it's going to go into the oven to bake for like 45 minutes, close to an hour, just so it's nice and set on the sides. And then we take it out. We're going to decorate it with a little bit of peppermint chocolate if you'd like to. But because of the essence that we already have in there, you don't actually have to worry about that flavor, because we've already got it in our essence. Can you smell that coffee? Just that
Man,
whiff
it's
of
so
coffee
good,
coming
but
at you.
just the way it's combined with these flavors already, I'm getting even more of a highlighted biscuity taste, sort of that sweetness coming through. It's gonna be so good.
Definitely.
I cannot wait. Just to make sure I'm doing this correctly, just kind of flattening the base. Does
Yes,
it need to go up
please.
the edges? No?
You can if you'd like to, but if you can see our beauty that we've made a little earlier, you've got
That you and I made earlier, right?
It's beautifully nice and set at the bottom. If you'd like to put it up the edges, it's more for aesthetic more than
Okay.
anything. But now that we've done our part, I'm
Yes.
gonna let you do the honors of pouring this baby into
the
there. Put it
nerves.
into our oven to bake,
Ah,
and
you weren't joking. It smells so good.
it's
Wow.
nice and strong. It's a
All right,
beautiful
so
flavor.
nice and gentle with this, right?
Yes, let's see how much of a gladiator you are in the kitchen, because they're gonna put you through your patience that size. So I just
They
thought
are indeed.
I should get you started right now.
Get my nerves into the mode that it needs to be to have the temperament to deal with someone like that.
And the flavors we've got here, the caramel and the coffee go so well together. So it's at least you know it's going to be a combination of great flavors and just a touch of that vanilla, or rather that peppermint essence.
Is the whole bowl going in?
All of it. All of it. We're going...
It's weird how you
Buck
can get
wild
so
today.
excited when you're making food, when you're making dessert, when you're making things like this. It's like,
Yeah.
I feel like a kid again.
I know, exactly. It brings out the little
good
kid
that
in all
looks.
of us. And that's it, Raul. This is our...
Simple as that.
Simple.
Well, that literally took us like 2 minutes to
I know,
make.
right?
I know someone that would absolutely love something like this. It's young Carlitos himself.
Oh, this guy.
My friend, I could not allow you to just stare at this with your jaw open.
I think you got the only person that's not intermittent fasting here to eat the stuff. That's what I think, though. And
but
also,
it's easy to tell, though,
yes.
because I'm watching and you're just like...
No,
and I
because
see the
no,
saliva is just...
It's actually because we have an award-winning, chef here. Hello, chef.
She has that
Does
effect
this
on people.
Okay, this looks absolutely gorgeous. I'm ready to taste. Thank you so
Yeah,
much. It
dig
looks
in, man.
fantastic.
Have a
Okay,
slice. There's a knife right there.
Is there a knife here? Okay, so slice-wise, can I just go freestyle with the
It's
slice?
up to you, bro.
The cold
Okay,
slice.
freestyle. I'll just do a
Cole's
cold
perfect
slice.
serve.
I'll just go from the middle of it though, and I'll come down over here. Oh yes, thank you very much.
And tell me when
I'm
you
ready.
get into that. Tell me what you're getting in terms of the
I'm
flavors.
going
Can
to.
you feel
I'm
the
gonna
peppermint?
I will
Can you
do that because
feel-
you guys put some love. By the way, can I just mention that when you heard you're taking on Adira in a fitness challenge, you had the same look that I had when you knew you did something wrong and your daddy was coming home. That same look. It was on your face.
It's the same feeling you have when you go to school and someone's like, everyone did one in the test except one person. And then your heart starts beating.
Okay, let's taste it. You know what I like about the base of it as well? It's not too hard. I'm also like the ratio that you have over here. Let's give it a taste. Peppermint's coming through. Oh, there's such great richness over here. I like the fact there's a bit of salt in there somewhere. Let's go. Thank you. I'm wood.
That's what I
You
was
should
looking
have some
for.
of this.
That's what I was looking for. I'm definitely going to jump on that because
You
I've got
better.
a big fitness session
Oh,
happening
my
after
word.
this. But Chewy, we did it.
Thank you. We did
If
it.
Carl's smiling, then we've definitely won this one. Guys, you can get this recipe at expressoshow.com. Of course, all the inspiration you need to get the flavor sensation that Carlitos is going through right now. Look at that face.
I actually might finish this.
Enjoy, brother.
With every cup, we cultivate some of the finest coffee in the world, celebrating farmers as artists, elevating every coffee moment. Because with every cup, precious coffee preserves the beauty of our world. Nespresso, what else?
Only you can make my day.
Join Expresso on the 20th of August as we shake off winter and forget our worries in the sun-kissed city of Umhlatuze. Live again in the gorgeous outdoors of Enseleni Nature Reserve, Shisanyama subtropical style in the home of spice and aroma. Take the spring air with Tula Tula's magnificent beasts, and if checking back in with your culture is what floats your boat, then Eguguini Village and KwaZulu-Natal is #open for travel.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back, you beautiful souls. We're opening up live here on S3. It's your Feel Good, of course. Now, we've got a beautiful theme today. We're talking about kids. We're talking about all the good stuff as well. And one thing that stands out is kids, it's their imagination. Now, I know we all had imaginary friends growing up. Cole, you had one too, right?
I had a few. I had like 10 of them in a football team.
I still have a few, actually. Shh, don't tell anyone. Although we're not likely to admit it, or you're not as honest as Cole as I, as we are, except perhaps for someone like Lwazi Msipa. Now, his story is what dreams are absolutely made of. Now, Lwazi is an animation artist with his own show called My Cartoon Friend, and it's broadcasting on one of the biggest cartoon dedicated channels on television. Oh, can you believe it?
It's great though. In fact, I was telling my imaginary friend now that the creator of My Cartoon Friend, right, Lwazi Msipa, connects with us from Joburg to tell us more about this amazing thing and how it came together. Lwazi, good morning. Yes, man.
Morning.
Man, we are so excited. Are you not excited? How cool is this? I mean, listen.
I'm so excited. I'm so excited to be joining you guys and just talking about my show.
Oh, no, I mean, this is incredible stuff. Now, just to set the bar here and just to let everybody know, you've created a show that's been picked up by a major US cable television channel. Now, how did this opportunity even come about? Where did we start with this?
So it started with me just uploading videos on, the internet and just creating ideas. So then there was a whole event with a marketing event, film marketing and distribution and all that. And they were there. And then we started having the chat, the conversation, but nothing really tangible. And then COVID-19 hit. Then I got an email from them saying, listen, we've seen your work. We've seen what you can do. Can you do something for the kids for us? And I was like, what? You guys are contacting me, asking me this? Are you serious? And that was the chat from there. And then, we wrote the script and they greenlight the show. And they said, let's go ahead, let's do it.
Oh, that's so cool.
It really is cool that somebody from SA representing on a global scale. So we're so proud of you. But what Raul and my imaginary friend wanted to ask you, okay, is both. This is Jake, by the way. What's your imaginary friend's name again?
That's all Bobby Boy.
Bobby Boy and Jake want to know, Lwazi, what's the premise for the show?
So, like you're saying, it's just an idea of exploring the imaginary friends. So the premise of the show is that I was fooling around with an alien software, just working with it, and then the alien software, has an ad that says, if you want to create a cartoon character, click on this ad. So I click on this ad, not suspicious at all, and then all of a sudden my cartoon character just appears next to me, and now I can't put him back into the app. So I'm like, now I have to live with the cartoon. So, it's just exploring the dynamics of how it would be like just living with the cartoon and just understanding that the cartoon is in the real world, the certain stuff that he can't do in the real world. And it's just like a whole, cats and mouse situation with him and I.
It looks like a lot of fun. I'm dying to know what the conversation in the car is right now.
Looks serious, eh? Whatever they're talking about. You look like you have a life decision, and he's telling you go for it, man. Go.
Look, but let me ask you this, because normally when you see a show like this, especially one that's been picked up on such a huge stage with an international audience, you'd expect a huge team, production house, studio, the works. You're doing this from the comfort of your own home, man. I mean, that's just another incredible topic on its own. Talk to me about this process. How are you getting to the point where you produce and you get the show on the road and you're doing it all from your house? I mean, how's it happening?
I mean, it literally just shows the power of technology and where we headed. There's really no excuses anymore when it comes to doing your stuff. And for the most part, I mean, the whole show was shot on set, just to get the shots. But the editing, the animation, the voice, the script writing, everything that has to go with post-production was done at the comfort of my bedroom with a small microphone, right here. I just record on my bedroom, and that's it. That's the whole process.
No excuse. I love it.
And it's important for us to use technology to make sure we are connected. And I mean, it's very relevant because how many of us had to develop these friends during lockdown? We had to create these friends of ourselves. People were talking to toasters, but you have actually something that you can animate and it can exist in the real world. So I must just congratulate you because apparently you're going to go do your masters. You're going to be in France in September. Is that correct?
Yes. In September, I'll be doing my masters in France.
That's so cool. I hope the French is coming on well. Bonjour. Comment allez-vous?
I mean, I just know bonjour at this point. I've got a French dictionary. So
That's all you need for everything. Bonjour. Cartoon French. Bonjour.
Look,
Bonjour.
man, I got to ask you a question because the whole of the world's potentially watching this. Mzansi definitely is too. And there's a lot of youngsters out there that I think is, especially hearing a story like this, are going to be inspired.
Yeah.
So maybe you can share some words with them, just with regards to how to inspire youngsters out there to make their mark when it comes to the animation world, when it comes to maybe just materializing their dream. What would you say to them?
I would say definitely create, definitely put your stuff out there, because ultimately the show executives, the big people in these companies are human. So after the job, they get back home, they're scrolling on social media, they're scrolling on the stuff where you could put your stuff out there, and that's how they're going to discover you. So always don't be afraid to put your stuff out there. If you're an artist, put your stuff out there. You never know who you're going to bump into or who's going to bump into your stuff, and you never know who's going to call you. So definitely put your stuff there as a creative and an artist.
I think now more than ever, we have an opportunity as creatives to put our stuff out there, but we have to do it with confidence. And I can tell that, Lwazi, that confidence that you've shown with your product has been taken on by the global, sort of media. And I think that's so important, is the confidence in the young ones to actually go out there and, don't even try and listen to any haters, those comments on those posts, etc. Those should only fuel your success. And I'm sure you've got a few of that and you had to break through that. But look at you now, a US cable station actually saying, hey, we want your thing. And I think that's so powerful. So congratulations once again.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it so much.
Otherwise, I think for myself, from Carl, from my buddy Bobby over
and
here.
Jake.
We love you, man. Thank you for what you're doing, and we look forward to seeing the show.
Awesome. Thank you.
That's great. Well, I mean, we still have so much entertainment. In fact, Jake will tell you now. Okay, he doesn't talk, but it's fine. Stick with us. It's Expresso, your feel-good breakfast show.
Thank you so much, boys. 2 minutes before 7 o'clock. Time to have another look at those news headlines. Starting with your national news, the Department of Basic Education, the DBE, has proposed that schools continue with their lessons during the spring break to make up for time lost. The DBE and the provincial education departments are scheduled to meet today to discuss the potential cancellation of the October school holidays. This is because schools closed earlier than expected at the end of the second term due to the rising numbers of COVID-19 infections. Schools are expected to close from the 1st to the 11th of October for the end of the third term. And then the National Department of Health yesterday conceded that its COVID-19 vaccination program had lost momentum due to vaccine hesitancy. Newly appointed Deputy Minister of Health, Dr. Sibugeseni Dlomo, said initially the country struggled to secure vaccine supplies, but now the department was grappling with vaccine hesitancy. This as a considerable number of vaccines is available and many more are expected. In the next fortnight, those 18 and older and almost every South African will be eligible for the vaccine. Looking to news further abroad, the rights of women in Afghanistan will be respected, and I quote, within the framework of Islamic law, the Taliban said yesterday. In the group's first news conference since taking control of the country on Sunday, a spokesperson gave no details of what these freedoms would include. Human rights groups fear women's freedoms could be eroded under rule of the Islamists. The Taliban introduced or supported punishments in line with their strict interpretation of Islam's legal system, Sharia law, when it controlled Afghanistan between 1996 and 2001. And then staying with your international news, Zambian President-elect 59-year-old Hakainde Hichilema yesterday promised the country a better democracy in his debut address to the nation. The business tycoon and veteran opposition leader pledged to foster a better democracy, rule of law, restore order, respect of human rights, liberties and freedoms, and to be a president for all Zambians, for those who voted for him and for those who did not. It had been Hichilema's sixth bid for the top job. And then lastly, Katrina Esso of the Northern Cape is a human living treasure, and I'll tell you why. Now, the focus this morning in Women's Month is on an exceptional woman who has dedicated herself to preserving her mother tongue to ensure that the heritage of the San people is never forgotten. In the Rosedale township of the Northern Cape, 88-year-old Katrina Esso heads the battle to save Nu from disappearing. It's a critical link to South Africa's earliest inhabitants who centuries ago roamed southern Africa as hunter-gatherers. Its death threatens the loss of cultural identity. Esso says people who spoke it have died out, so much so that there were only 4 of them left. Significantly, she has published the first children's book in Nu and travels the country sharing her knowledge at cultural establishments. She's been declared a human living treasure by the Minister of Arts and was awarded one of South Africa's highest honours, the Order of the Baobab in silver, in recognition of her efforts to preserve the San language and the culture as well. And we certainly salute you, Esso. Well, that is where I leave your 7 o'clock news headlines. Here is G with another look at the sports.
Thank you so much, Jamie. Let's kick it off with rugby news. Springbok head coach Jacques Nienaber has made a number of changes to his team for their second rugby championship test against Argentina in Nelson Mandela Bay on Saturday. Nienaber making a total of 11 changes. That's 6 in the back line and 5 up front to his team from last week, and of course the victorious team last week. Loot de Jager will run out for his 50th test cap, while Marvin Orrie will earn his first test start, and then the uncapped Nicholas Janse van Rensburg, he's named on the replacements bench. That second encounter between South Africa and Los Pumas will kick off at 5:05 on Saturday afternoon. Then the roster is down for the big one in cricket this year. The Proteas are scheduled to face Australia in their ICC Men's T20 World Cup opener at the Abu Dhabi International Cricket Stadium on the 23rd of October this year. So South Africa will face the team from down under in the first game of the Super 12 stage of the competition. The ICC unveiled the full schedule of the 16-team event yesterday. The Proteas have a tough one. They've been grouped with England, Australia and the West Indies, and then 2 yet to be determined qualifiers. The tournament is scheduled to begin on the 17th of October, with the final scheduled to be played on the 14th of November of this year. Then finally onto football. Bayern Munich have got off to a flyer. They've secured their first trophy of the brand new season and retained the German Super Cup with a 3-1 win over old foes Borussia Dortmund at the Signal Iduna Park last night. Star forward Robert Lewandowski, he netted twice, and then Thomas Müller, he hit the back of the net once to guide the team to the victory. That means Bayern have now won all of their last 6 encounters against Dortmund. That's where we leave our sporting headlines for now. Let's get a bit of a global weather perspective now and see what the temperatures have in store for us here in SA.
Thanks a lot, G. Let's get onto the weather news, and starting off, the only remaining mountain glacier in Sweden has lost a further 2 meters in height during the past year due to global warming. The southern peak of the Kebnekaise Mountains in Sweden was the highest peak in the country until 2 years ago, but a third of the glacier has since melted. The mountain's northern peak is currently the highest in the country. Researchers at the Stockholm University attribute the situation to rising air temperatures and changing wind conditions. The researchers say the changes confirm a recent report by the United Nations Climate Panel that the unparalleled melting of glaciers worldwide is virtually out of control due to global warming. Now, thank you to all of our viewers who have regularly contributed to our Expresso Facebook page with your sunrise photos, and we have some more great pics for you, and these were received by some interesting individuals, including Grizzly Fox X Neji from Klerksdorp, shared this morning view of the sky as it transitions from hues of dark blues to yellow as the day begins. That picture is as unique as your name. Thanks a lot for sending that over, Grizzly. Rina Vasan from East London captured this great photo as the sun rises over the area, showing off the sky filled with scatterings, or should I say scatterings of clouds as the sun peaks up behind the buildings in the area. Thank you for sharing those. And if you got any more of those pictures, send them my way, please. Expresso's Facebook page. You can just park them over there, and of course give me your location as as well. Let's take a look at the temperatures for the day. In the north, looking good. South, a little bit more chilly. Polokwane, let's start with you. 9 is where you start today. 25 a little later. Bombela, 17 to 32. Pretoria, you can expect 11, but then you rise to 24 degrees Celsius. Johannesburg, looking clear. 10 degrees, but you peak at 22. Mahikeng, 6 to 27 today. Klerksdorp, 5 to 26. Kimberley shining bright like a diamond as usually. 23 is the maximum from a minimum of 3. Bloemfontein very chilly in the morning, but you do have a nice warm 22 later. -1 is where you start. Richards Bay 17 to 26. Pietermaritzburg 12 to 25. Only a 30% chance of rain in your area. Durban 18 to 22. Some clouds, possibly a chance of rain, about a 25% chance in fact. Mthatha 8 to 19. East London 11 is your minimum to a max of 18. Cradock you start at 4, but you rise to 20. Gqeberha, 10 to 17 today. George, a 64% chance of rain. 10 to 16 are your temperatures. Cape Town, 10 to 16. Rain, 75% chance if it's not raining already. Worcester, 7. And then you rise to 13 with an 88% chance of precipitation. Sutherland looking cloudy and quite chilly, 0 to 9. And then Uppington wrapping with you. 4 is your minimum to a maximum of 20 degrees Celsius. Those are your temperatures for the day. No matter what type of temperature you have in your area, I just hope that your day is on the money. And talking about that, take a look.
Yeah, we're on the money right now, and we're talking about a few things that we all are achieving or succeeding to try and achieve at least. Now, besides success, of course, fulfillment and achievement. Now, the one motivation that keeps us working hard is our salary.
Money, money, money.
Now, yet, we are so reluctant to share that figure with the people that are closest to us. Or are we? Well, that's the question of the day. And we're going to find out in another round of Would You Rather. So what's the scenario this morning?
Would you rather? Break it down for us.
Okay, so you're out for drinks with colleagues. We go, we're living our best life from work, and everyone starts talking about their salaries, okay? My scenario for you, is it A or B? A, would you share yours so that you can find out the others? Because remember, this time the drinks are flowing, you're living your best life, you get to say
it depends
anything.
what stage of the evening you're in. Yeah.
Or would you go with B, say nothing because your salary is private?
That's a tricky one, eh?
Yeah, look, I'm...
Our boss is watching, guys.
Yeah, I suppose. Look, we all work for the same company, so I think we have a feeling we all kind of know. But, yeah, for me, those sorts of things, it would just feel very kind of superficial to be talking about it, I suppose. But it depends what kind of discussion you're having. And so often now, at the age that I am, if I'm talking about money with my mates, it'll be a meaningful discussion about moving ahead, what they're doing right, their success stories. I'm inspired by what my friends are doing really well. So, like, we'll often talk about it not from a boastful perspective, but what can we do better? How can we learn from each other? Those sort of elements. So I suppose it's a bit more nuanced than that. But I have a feeling in today's very materialistic world, a lot of people want you to know, you know, especially for, that's a young man's game.
I think so. I think it definitely relates to the ego, G. I must agree with you there. I think for me, I'm very inclined to speak about my salary when it's someone that's I'm trying to educate or we're trying to learn. Like it's a serious convo.
I'm better than you because I earn more money than you.
But generally, people are interested to know, especially in our game, how much do you earn? And I think that's when I'm willing to answer the question. But other than that, I think it's more of like just a big pissing contest, if anything.
Yeah.
So I stay away from it. I do like to share the random stories about this one time I did this one job and I made this much money.
For
like,
sure, yeah.
seal the deal.
With me, it's almost, I once almost got this job that was paying like 380 grand, but I didn't.
So that they can know, that that's the standard. We could get paid, but we're actually not. But let's see what everyone is saying. Also,
guys,
can you hear that?
you know that the ancestors are blessing this conversation right now? They're either trying to tell us, like, stop talking and drowning us out with rain, but it's a blessing. We'll take that rain. And
Just
we'll
calm
take
down
it.
in the studio if you can't hear that, guys. But before we talk about the rain, let's talk about you and let's talk about what your scenario and answers are to the question.
So I think Clay says, why are we talking about salaries when we're out for drinks? I would say every time it's my turn to say something, I would replace my words with a big sip. Ooh, you look drunk after that.
Unless the conversation about who's paying for the bill.
Actually, I only get paid a little, so I don't know who's paying for the drink. So yeah, I don't know, I get that one, Asa. We got another one coming through as well from Norma saying definitely B. B, your salary is private and can cause friction in the workplace. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I think a lot of people say Marissa also saying B there, definitely B. You know, presumably your salary is very confidential, and I suppose it is, especially if it's a professional thing with colleagues. Ultimately, it is something that it's a nuanced discussion that you're having with your employer. You know, you work hard to get to that point of that salary. So, yeah, I would probably say on balance B, but I'm not a 23-year-old guy, driving a souped-up BM.
I'll give a fake about, I'll be like, I earn 100,000 rand just for you guys to say, and then once I know that, I'm like, actually, I don't get paid that. I really don't.
Yeah, it depends on the side hustle. I think, however you spin it, money can be a tough subject, but never let your salary define you. That is key. There is always room for growth, and there are opportunities around you in every corner. You just need to work hard and know how to spot them, and then know how to look after your money once you make it. To save and invest your hard-earned cash, visit nedbank.co.za and let your money do a little bit of that hard work for you.
Indulge your desires. Be swept away by the fragrance of descent. Take the plunge into impulsive spending until you find yourself deeper and deeper, drowning in debt. In this world of temptation, do you want a bank that takes your money, or a bank that takes your money seriously?
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back, everybody. You can hear the rain coming down, but it's
Yes.
time to get heated in studio. South Africa, I don't think you're ready, because this lady, she is talented. We just got a sneak peek right now, but she's singer and songwriter Michaela Kleinsmith. Remember this name. She's joining us this morning to discuss her musical journey and how, when she picked up a guitar at 13 years old, this led her to release and realize that she was chosen for something greater, from singing in church to busking at the waterfront and opening for performers like Craig Lucas. Let's take a look at her latest single called A Summer Love.
Ooh, I'm loving what this feels like. Stay right here with me, sipping on the time we space. Wanna make this moment last forever. Tell me how you feel. Tell me how you feel.
There was just a
Yeah, it's just a bit. I wish you could see how certain people were singing along to their own song. Like they first heard the song. They're like just like, oh, what's my jam? I love this song. What song is this? It's my own song.
I do love this song.
I just want to say that it is an honor to introduce you to Michaela Klainsmith. Make some noise to this incredible individual. Yes, girlfriend. Yes.
Hi.
Hi, Michaela.
Hi.
Hi, how are you?
Hi, you are so low-key. I feel like you're too low-key because I'm like, hey, girl, you are... I just want to say that you're talented.
Thank you so much. Oh, I really appreciate that.
No, you know what? The performance, I don't want to give away anything, but anybody who comes through with some keys and a beatboxer, you know what you're in for. You're in for something absolutely incredible today. But let's start off with that singing journey. It's always a good place to start. And I mean, at 13 years old, a guitar. How do you even know at that particular point, besides your auntie saying to you, you sing lekker, I want to know, what was that driving force to say to you, hey, let's take this seriously?
I've always been interested in music. I come from a very musical family, so it's just always been in my blood, and I've always wanted to do it.
Yeah.
And I was in denial for a long time. I was like, I don't want to be a singer. I'm cool. I'm fine. I'm fine. And then when the bug bites you, you can't put it down. So I can't like live my life without it.
Oh yeah.
And we're glad. We're glad.
Yeah, thank goodness.
But you, because a couple of years ago, you also entered the biggest singing competition ever, which has really helped you as a performer, just give you that confidence to perform for so many people. Tell us about that experience.
It was amazing because it was a very, very big learning experience for me because I was kind of young. I just came out of high school. So I almost got thrust into the industry very quickly. So I stumbled a lot on the way, but it was I wouldn't change it for the world. Yeah, it was really cool. I really enjoyed it.
You know, there was this one time where I walked past Michaela in the waterfront and threw 5 rand into her hat.
A 5 rand?
Yeah, I threw a 5 rand into her hat, I remember. I was very proud of it, actually.
Thank you.
And I know that helped you that day,
Yes,
right? And look at you now. You're welcome.
Obviously, yeah.
It's my
just
5
because of
rand.
you, obviously.
I started you off. She's welcome.
Oh, 'cause of you.
She really- But how was that? I mean, busking, because I know, you know, there are other artists who got to the big time by busking. I mean, more recently, Tones and I was a busker.
Oh, yeah.
And then it came out. That's why Dance Monkey came out, because everybody just said, dance, little monkey, dance for me. And perform, and that's why she named it that song. So that waterfront busking, how was that?
It's amazing. I still enjoy it. I still do it when I can.
Really?
Yeah.
Wait, let me see if I... Hold on.
A 10 rand.
Hold on, wait.
TV.
I got a 2 rand
Thank
here.
you. You're so kind.
2 rand here
I
for
will
you.
not say no.
There we go. Fantastic. I'm gonna need that back. Anyway, yes.
Yeah, it's amazing. I get to like meet a lot of people. I get to test out new material. I get to. It's basically just a playground for me at the moment, which is super fun. Yeah.
That's so cool.
And I think the best part of that is that you also get to connect with the audience. I mean, people see you there. That is where you came from. But also opening up for people like Craig Lucas. What was that like? Because he's a
cool.
family. He's family
such
of the show.
a cool guy. Oh my god. Yeah, no, it's really amazing. It's very surreal that I get to experience all these really cool things.
Yeah.
I never thought that this would be my life, and there's still more to come, which is very exciting. Yeah.
I know you get inspired by people like Craig Lucas, but I think you should be inspired by yourself. That mirror should show you all the value that you have, and the 2 rand I just gave you. So,
Thank you.
we're hearing the rain in the background, but your song is called Summer Love. I know there's a bit of an oxymoron happening here, but it doesn't matter because we can feel the love in your song.
Yeah.
Summer Love, tell me about the development of said song. How did you come to this? And I'm sure it may say Summer Love, but it's for all seasons, isn't it?
Yes, absolutely. Now, I went to studio one day with a friend of mine, and we just decided to jam out, and that song is what came out of the session. And when we finished the song, I was like, nah, this needs to be released because it's so cool. I really like it, and it's different from what I usually write. So yeah, I'm very excited about it.
So if I were to put you on the spot right now, because you are in the studio right now, you just had to jam it out right now and just sing anything, because that's how music is created, what would you sing?
What would I sing?
Yeah.
Ain't no sunshine when she's gone.
Ding, ding, ding.
It's now when she's away.
That's because of the rain.
What?
That's right. Yeah, I know. If you can switch that on that quickly, this is why. You know what? The 2 that I just gave you, keep it. Gee whiz, that is amazing. Did you have goosebumps? Do you also want to have she has an odd somewhere. The thing is, the dress she's wearing, she couldn't stash it anywhere. She'll give you money later. Michaela's Klein-Smith will be performing for you a little later. And as I said, think about this. Michaela's voice, a beatboxer, and some keys. Don't go anywhere. You were amazing.
Oh, thank you.
Oh, man. Well, we cannot wait for a little taste of Michaela's tunes. In the meantime, Chef Chumi 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 is here to give us a taste of pure bliss.
Made with love by Clover.
What's soft, fluffy, and indulgently decadent? Not my personality. It's all Clover Bliss chocolate-filled donuts. Oh, these are crazy. They are a real treat, perfect for satisfying that sweet craving. And Chef Tumi is here to show us how it's done. This is my guilty pleasure. I won't lie, like donuts in any form are my guilty completely. I have a weakness. So yeah, you're an enabler this morning. That's what you are. You're enabling me.
You and me both,
I love it, and I thank you for it. So we don't want this to be too difficult because we want this as many people as possible to try this at home because it's fun, it's exciting, and of course the reward at the end is just amazing. So where do we begin?
We begin with our dry ingredients. So to make any type of dombolo, dumpling, donut, it's amazing that they all start with D now that I think about it.
Delicious.
They all start with a beautiful amount of flour, and then we're mixing in our dry ingredients, which over here I've got some baking powder. I've also got a bit of salt because it always is important to have that balance with the salt and the sugar in your baked goods. And then I also have a bit of sugar. So before I add in our wet ingredients, I'm just going to mix these all together.
Okay, so and the sugar, so you want the dough itself is going to have a sweet taste, you know, and undertone. Brilliant.
True, because like normally if you'd be doing things like amakwenya, you wouldn't add that much sugar. You just need the sugar there to work with the yeast. In this instance, we're not using any yeast, we're using baking powder. So we want to actually flavor the dough. And then into that, I'm going to go in with some of my butter that we've melted because we always need a bit of a fat to combine the dish. And then I'm going to add just a little bit of our buttermilk this time. Because what I want to do is I want to combine it first, and then if it's a little too stiff, then I'll add more.
Yeah, you can start from that side, polarity, and then work your way in. Okay, that makes sense.
Correct. The one thing you do not want is a dough that's too runny and you can't, you know, add those.
And then you're falling before you've even got started. What is the trick with buttermilk? Why do we incorporate buttermilk in so many recipes like this?
It's because of the, you know what, the acid content. You know, whenever you're baking something like that, the baking powder and so forth needs something like that to help activate them as well. So that's
you're a mad scientist.
Exactly. It's all about the science. This is why I always tell people that I prefer to do the sweets, the savory stuff, but these are the kind of sweet treats that are, like you said, an indulgence, and I'm okay with, you know, falling by the wayside just for them.
Yeah, so, man, and the trick here is because they're so small, you think, just one. Maybe two,
then
or nine, you know.
And it's beautiful that we're pairing them with something that's awesome because you can have this on its own, you can have it in the donut, you can have it on the donut, you can have it around the donut.
You can have a fountain and you can just dip the donut in. You know? Depending on how much bliss you have in your house. But the bliss is beautiful because it's going to be a perfect complement, I think, to the texture of the donut. It's beautiful, it's creamy, and of course it's got that lovely, intense chocolatey flavor.
So normally you'd want to roll these babies up, but because of the kind of dough, what I'm going to do is I'm not going to call them circles or spheres. I'm going to make some oblong things that we're going to fry up. And then these beauties we're going to fill with our beautiful Clover Bliss chocolate dessert. So I'm going to start frying these babies up, and maybe you can start mixing our cinnamon sugar for us. Because that's what we're going to toss our babies in. And then after tossing them, we're going to fill them.
Fill them with
or dunk them. Actually, it's completely up to you. I mean, you could do a whole glug of the bliss. It's completely up to you. Up to you. All right, so I'm going to just keep frying these babies. All we want is for them to be nice and golden brown. Your oil should be at the correct temperature. You don't want it too hot because then all that happens is it burns on the outside and stays
It doesn't cook through. Okay, how do you know the temperature's at the right, you know, failing having a
wouldn't. The whole idea is to start off low. So I always suggest start off with the lower temperature and then work it up because you don't know, obviously, depending on the strength of your stove and so forth. So I just suggest start low and keep increasing. You can always just use a little bit of your batter to test the heat of whatever you're making, and then as it keeps frying up, if you see that it's taking too long, then just increase
Then
the
you can
heat.
just gradually, again, work
Correct.
from one polarity and kind of work your way up. I get that.
Yes.
Okay, so how do we fill these guys with the joy, the magic of our bliss?
I'm going to ask you, sir, to pour some of our beautiful bliss in here because we're going to type. Normally, you could, like I said, you could fill them, you could dunk them. It's completely up to you. I think that's fine. Let's work with that. And then maybe please hold it up for me and seal the top. There we go. So the reason I've done this is so that it doesn't sink to the bottom and come out the other end. And then now, can I ask you to poke some holes into our little donuts there at the end?
Do that.
And then I'm just going to fill these babies with our Clover Bliss medium cream dessert. So imagine the flavor of the cinnamon and the sugar together with the chocolate.
I haven't taken it too far. There we go.
There we go.
Oh, this is a win. I absolutely love this, man. This is something you can really get stuck into, and it just shows the versatility of something like the Clover Bliss medium cream chocolate dairy dessert. It's ready to eat. You can just have it as a chocolate dairy dessert as is. You can pour it, you can sauce it up, you can top it, you can insert it into the middle. No whipping, no cooking, no baking, no fuss, just ready to eat indulgence. And if you're going to use it as an ingredient or on its own as a snack, you have an absolute winner. It's probably one of the most versatile dessert kind of tools, if anything, that we have. Absolutely beautiful. And I like this. You can have a lot of fun with this and really push the boat out with the kind of toppings that you want, you know, the kind of sugar coating. If you, depending on your sweet tooth, you know what you like. Key thing, make a lot. Make as many as you can because they will go fast. To me, this is delicious. It's amazing. And they look absolutely beautiful. If you missed any of the steps, take a look at this.
Made with love by Clover. Only you can make my day.
welcome back. You already know what that sound means. It means that JP Sebastian, our movie critic, our movie guru, is with us this morning. Very good morning to you, JP Sebastian. How you doing, sir?
Morning, Jamie Lee. I'm trying to stay dry. It's rainy in Cape Town and trying to keep my spirits up. How are you?
Well, clearly with that jacket, you are dressed. You are not going to get wet, JP. You're inside. How are you going to get wet if you're not outside?
I moved from my bed to my cupboard a meter away to get this jacket 20 centimeters away and in bed with me after this interview. It makes no sense. I don't know why I'm dressed like Forrest Gump this early in the morning. Let me give you the full Forrest Gump. I have to tie up this button as well. There we go.
Tie it up. There we go. Now you look professional. Now you look ready to tell us all about the movie trailers, which the first one is called Flee. Tell us about it.
Yes. So these are recent trailers that, as I always say, these entice me, and I hope that they can entice you too. Flee, I felt was important to talk about because obviously the news recently, and I suppose for the past 20 years, has been very depressing. Especially the news coming out of Afghanistan, what people are going through there from this debacle, this embarrassment, this horrible attempt at a withdrawal, I suppose. Flee then is the story of a guy who was an Afghani refugee back with the first successful attempt of the Taliban to take Kabul, his home city, back in 1996. And back then he was just a little kiddo. So it's a documentary. But it's told throughout in the form of a beautiful animation that, as you can see, moves from different mediums. As he's remembering, it goes from charcoal to, this sort of like more flat, sort of textureless, hopeless sort of spare environment where he's just trying to recollect these things in interview format. So the director is his friend. Character stays anonymous throughout because he's telling a story that he's never even told his own husband before, and this might even jeopardize his marriage. So he got all the way from Afghanistan to Denmark, where he now lives a more comfortable life as an academic. He's very successful, but still has this pain hanging over him of the desperate escape from the turmoil and the fear of living under Taliban rule. And throughout, there's this amazing tension of someone after all of these years needing to just get something off their chest, which the truth, might set you free, but it might hurt as well desperately. Flee is definitely going to be a contender for Oscar nomination this year. It has been hugely lauded by the critics, and there's no date for it in SA just yet, but with that kind of Oscar buzz that's already going around for it, you can expect it on a streaming service or whatnot. But it's vitally important right now that we hear more stories directly from people from Afghanistan and not people from, the military or veterans or anything like that. Like their story is what should be centered right now, and Flee does the job of that as we speak.
No, for sure. Definitely hits home with that one. Flee, again, no movie release date for South Africa just yet. But Sabaya, what is your take on that one?
So Sabaya was, again, these are just trailers that came out recently, and Sabaya is hair-raising as all heck. Another documentary, and it is the story of Sabaya. Sabaya is supposedly an ancient word from the region of, where ISIL operates, which is Iraq and the Levant and the near Middle East, for the spoils of war is what Sabaya basically means. And in brutal terms, it means sex slaves. And the man you're looking at there, Mahmoud, he operates what's referred to as the Yazidi Home Center, and he's a guy who hears the pleas of people who are looking for their daughters who have been stolen into sex slavery for the terrorist group ISIL. And then bravely, with the help of women who go undercover as sex trafficked women themselves, wearing the full niqab, will go into the camp of Al-Hol in Syria to retrieve women who have been stolen from their homes. Under the threat of gunfire, under car chases, and still throughout somehow, look at this guy's face, it's completely deadpan. He looks like he's, eating peanuts throughout the entire thing, completely bland and heroic and stoic somehow. Man, the kind of courage that this guy has, the kind of courage that these women have who go in undercover to confront a terrorist group and rescue these women, I cannot believe, and when this comes out, I hope that it inspires a lot of people to think about the stories of gender-based violence and the threat that women all over the world live under, and the kind of bravery that it takes absolute nobodies like Mahmoud and these women who have to remain anonymous for their lives' sakes to save the lives of fellow human beings. Sabaya is also another contender for Oscar Best Documentary, if we get an Oscars again, but I'm sure we will.
Is there
no date in SA.
no date for SA just yet? No date for SA?
No, ma'am. But with the kind of buzz that it's getting, and like I said, the possibility of Oscar glory, definitely we will get it on our shores eventually.
Well, that was Flea and Sabaya. Let us know on social media which movies you are looking forward to. That was JP Sebastian. He's still going to be here for another segment, so don't go anywhere. But for one last time, I have to ask Ryle. Ryle, are you ready?
Ooh, Jamie Lee Domberg, I do not know if I am, but the moment has arrived. Of course, we're back in the studio with the legend, the one and only. It's Gladiator Adira. She's going to be taking us through a bodyweight workout this morning. And of course, bodyweight workouts have been proven to be efficient, effective. And when it comes to improving flexibility and balance, it helps building strength and endurance, all on top of all of these boxes that are being ticked now. So it's also an effective way to build muscle, and it's needed to be a top gladiator like Adira. So what are you doing this morning? Get up and let's get involved. Adira is here to show us how. Before we get into this, because everyone's watching and I'm so nervous, what does Adira mean?
It means strong, noble, and powerful.
Clearly, that is you. All right, so let's do that. Let's get strong, let's get normal, let's get powerful. What have you got for us? No equipment needed. What's the first exercise?
I think let's start with squats.
Okay, cool. Right.
A few squats.
Let's
Are
do
you
it.
fine with it?
Yeah, perfect.
But
So we're doing
bump
the
to
normal
the floor,
squats?
hey?
Yes, okay.
Okay.
Let's go down. Oh, and up. Now for you, I know that squats are obviously easy. You normally probably have some weight on top of it as well.
Normally,
How many
yes.
reps would you go for in total with this?
Well, with only body weight, I will say I'm doing like 200 a day.
200
Yes.
a day? Just another day, clearly. My bar needs to be set a little bit higher. I'm maybe pushing like 20 if I'm talking anything.
No, you're looking good.
But clearly this is what you need to do to be a gladiator. And of course, if we were doing this in a workout, how many sets would we add in total?
Well, with weights, obviously, I'll go for 12 reps.
12 reps in total, 3 sets or more.
Yes.
And that'll get the glutes burning. My legs are burning. Is that right?
It should be, yeah.
All right.
Then you're working it.
My paces here. What's next? What have we got?
A few push-ups.
Ooh, okay, let's do it. Down on the ground?
Up. Yes.
Working the upper body, of course,
Yes.
right? And I would imagine as a gladiator, this is something that's quite important. I've seen some of the stuff that you're doing. You're putting in big tackles. You're defending. You're pushing people off some of the biggest obstacles ever. This is obviously going to help that, right?
Yeah, no, it definitely helps.
So any potential competitors coming through to go against this powerhouse of a year, work on those push-ups, please. All right, let's get into it. Ooh. All right, so for anybody, because I know you are super strong, right? So push-ups for you are quite easy. For someone starting at home, hasn't done push-ups before, what could they start off with, or is there a grey down version, maybe just to make things a bit easier for them?
Yes, obviously there's lady push-ups with your knees down to the ground.
All right, I'm going to try those because I know you clearly don't need to do that, but for the rest of Mzansi, let me do the ladies push-ups. I don't know why they even call it ladies push-ups, because I think it's just making things inferior. Clearly, this lady next to me is not doing anything of the sort. These are power push-ups for you. Again, reps-wise, how many are we doing?
About 12 reps, 3 sets.
Oh, and is it right that the shoulders and the chest are supposed to be burning right now?
And my triceps also work, eh?
Yeah, definitely.
Yes.
Feeling it. All right, what's next? And I love the fact, I must just say, that we're not using any equipment. Take note, pay attention, Mzansi.
Body
you don't
weight.
need anything for this. It's a full body workout. It's going to get you gladiator ready, and you can do it in the comfort of your own home. What's the next exercise?
Plank.
I like how you sit there and you're like, what should we do next? Like you have all these tools at your disposal. How can I kill him next? All right, let's go into
do
a
a plank.
Obviously, this is working the core, right? And this is something I'd imagine is so important. You guys are moving on unstable obstacles, doing so many crazy things. This is a winner for you, right? Okay, so let's get down into the plank. And how long would you hold this for?
60 seconds.
60 seconds, all right. While we hold these plank, of course, guys, you do not want to go anywhere. We've got another round coming through from Adira herself, and it's going to be an absolute killer. We're talking about speed next, we're talking about endurance, we're talking about all the power, and Adira is here to show us how. I hope you are ready. Oh, feeling the burn.
Are you starting shaking?
I am. Is that normal?
Yes, it is normal.
Ooh. What's the longest time you've actually planked for, by the way?
About 3 minutes.
Yeah, 3 minutes. Mzansi, that's a challenge to you out there. If you can do a plank for 3 minutes, then maybe, just maybe, you've got what it takes to be a gladiator. I don't know if I have 3 minutes in me. I'm definitely feeling the burn already, shaking as we go. And I feel like the whole body has got a beautiful combination. Dear, thank you. Thank you, thank you. I need to catch my breath. I need to save this because we've got another round coming up later.
We do have.
I'm nervous, I'm scared. We're going to talk about the power, the speed, and everything else that Adira possesses. You do not want to go anywhere. Whew. Thank you.
Thank you.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
And we're back on your Feel Good Breakfast Show, Expresso and S3. JP Sebastian is also back to track through some of the most exciting movie trailers out there. JP, welcome again, my friend.
Hello. I'm very pleased to be talking about some more weird movies rather than that deep, harrowing stuff. Hello, Carl. How are you?
I'm so good. It's great to see you. I happen to think the Forrest Gump look actually looks fantastic. And I know that movies are like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're going to get. And just tracking through these two movies that you're about to give us, the first one, what I enjoyed about it, there was just such a great sort of parallel to, I suppose, Superman. You know, when they said that, you know, Clark Kent is actually, you know, the hero there and Superman is the alias. I like that about this rock star versus a normal person trying to do a mockumentary type of thing. So it's called The Nowhere Inn. Tell us more.
This Superman analogy is quite interesting. And especially since in recent years, I suppose. Sorry, that's my dog who feels like it's his turn to speak.
Cute, man.
Leo, hello, good. Whenever I talk on the phone, he thinks it's a delivery for him, obviously.
Oh.
He's... So, in recent years, whether it's people like Cardi B or whoever, will blatantly tell us as fans, as audience members, that, look, the thing in front that you see is a persona, and behind that there's a real person that I'm not going to give you access to. So this is like you said, a mockumentary, but the true documentary in a way, because it gets kind of meta, of the artist St. Vincent, who is a real artist.
Yes.
People who are in stuff like, I suppose, Lana Del Rey or whatever, in my case, the Talking Heads, will really love the music that she does. She is an actual person who exists. However, it is this sort of like fake half concert movie, half behind the scenes type story of her and this tension between the real person and the character that she puts out on the stage. And all of that could be quite boring on the surface of things because we've seen that sort of done in the past, but it has very much it's been described in the trailer art as Lynchian. There's a very Twin Peaks kind of feeling to it. Definitely Mulholland Drive of this person who, on one hand, is almost losing control of the persona. It's spinning out of control. It's taken over her, and the director doesn't even have control any longer of the character. Because what the director finds is that in real life, the artist considers herself sort of quite boring, quite nerdy. After a show that you're watching there that's all high energy and rock and all pacey and everything like that, she plays a game of Scrabble backstage. So she's a normal person like everyone else, and the director's like, let's spice this up somehow. St. Vincent, then, this other character, in a way, emerges too much, and you have this, I suppose, a Fight Club situation of the id and the superego fighting each other. Leo, come here and talk about the movies with me if you're going to whine like a baby. Yes.
Bring the dog over. Yeah, I want to see the dog. Let's bring the dog into play, please. But it's quite interesting that you say that. I actually saw...
He's a dasher. He thinks he's close to me, but he's not. I can't read without leaving camera. Dog, you're not that long. Please, come closer.
You see, life is a movie sometimes. But yes, while you do that, I'm going to go to the next week. There's Nowhere In. It's quite intense. And I even saw a flash of Dakota Johnson in one of those particular pieces in the trailer. So go see it. And I'm not sure when that's out. Is it out already, JP?
No date in SA just yet, but it's already in America being received well by the fans and people who love music. You know, concert movies, sometimes, you know, things have been done a million times in the past. And so you've got to change it up. And how weird and meta this looks is super interesting. And especially in this age where we've got influencer types and, you know, that sort of thing where everyone's like, ooh, this is the Carl Wasty expose. But you're the executive producer and the presenter of your own documentary. So this terrible culture that we have is of a curated idea of yourself that you at all points manage and control. It's bizarre and it's stupid, and hopefully this documentary sort of exposes the weird stupidity of an expose, non-expose kind of culture that we've become pretty too accepting of, I suppose. Don't you think, Leo? Yes? No?
I love the dog in the pic, man. It's the best. Okay, let's move to the next movie. Now, I thought we were going to do a documentary vibe, but then I saw The Prisoners of the Ghostland, and I saw a flash of Nicolas Cage. Was I right, watching the right trailer?
Isn't anything that's absolutely, this is Leo addressing the audience now, weird with Nicolas Cage in it, a documentary in its own right anyway. The weirder it gets, the more documentary it is in a way, because the guy in real life, we must believe by now, he's got a bit of screws loose in the most wonderful way we can imagine. Because we love him dearly for doing the weird stuff. Good on this guy. He actually said a long time ago that he was kind of tired of the whole Jerry Bruckheimer craze and fast cars and explosions, and wanted to give that a rest because he felt like it didn't take the kind of risks that he really wanted in movies. So he does more of these independent things, including Prisoners of the Ghostland, which, is absolutely nutty and stupid, as you can imagine by the title and by the fact that it's got Nicolas Cage in it. I don't know if you saw the quote on the poster. It is a quote from Nicolas Cage, praising his own movie as the craziest movie he's ever done. So if that isn't a selling point, I don't know what is. But I'm sure you want to know that there's some story behind it too, right?
There's got to be.
Like gobsmacked. The story is that Nicolas Cage is a guy who is a bank robber, a brutal thief who is trying to redeem himself in a way, and this local guy in this fantasy town, which is half samurai, half cowboy western type thing. Dog, please stop messing with the modem. Now is not the time. He is charged by the chief of this town to rescue his daughter, who has made away and escape to this dangerous, creepy fantasy land where there's samurais and cowboys and ghosts and all this kind of stuff in the ghost land, where Nicolas Cage, tied with bombs to himself if he doesn't complete this mission in 5 days, including to his gonads, will be killed if he doesn't rescue the prisoner of the ghost land, who is played by Sofia Boutella, who played the mummy in Tom Cruise's Bad Mummy movie. But yeah, that's the gist of what you're looking at here. We've seen sort of half crosses between cowboy and western in the past, and one of my favorites going way back is Red Sun with Shiro Mifune and Charles Bronson. But it also feels a lot like, if you're a fan of Sucker Punch, the Sukiyaki Dango that was Quentin Tarantino, some decent looking sword fighting in it too, and need I say more, Nicolas Cage, who is just a prince of doing absolutely weird things. What's the weirdest Nicolas Cage for you? What's your go-to? Is it Face Off, right?
It's got to be Face Off, most definitely. But, I mean, we could talk our Face Off all the way through, JP, but thank you so much for sharing about the Nowhere In, as well as Prisoners of the Ghostland, as well as your dog. Absolutely incredible. Thanks a lot for always giving us the latest as we jump on to some more Feel Good Breakfast Show. You're the man, by the way, and your dog. Here's Ra once again.
It's round 2. Now, Adira's out here doing something special once again. Of course, it's the Gladiator, and it's in light of the incredible series that's about to go down here in South Africa. And of course, to be a successful gladiator, you need to be able to master a few skills, moves, and techniques. Now, you also need strength, speed, power, and endurance. Now, SA Gladiator Sonay Adira Bear will be putting us to the challenge to see if you have what it takes to be a contender. All right, so the challenge is going to be quite tricky, right? This is the fast one, you need a lot of strength. But maybe what we can do first is show Mzansi what the moves are, and then you and I can try the challenge afterwards. How does that sound? Okay, so what are the moves that we're going to be doing in the challenge?
The jumping lunges.
Woo! Starting off with a killer. That's a burner, right? So how are we doing that? Lunging and then jumping in the air, switching, and then landing. Right.
Yes.
So we're going to do, 1 rep would be obviously a jump, right? So that's 1.
Yes.
And that would be 2. All right. Yo, I'm already feeling the calves and the quads burning quite a bit here.
No, definitely.
What's the next one?
Burpees.
Oh my gosh, it just doesn't get easier. You're like chosen the worst and the hardest exercises. Okay, what's the grading for a burpee? How are we doing this one?
Okay, so you go down.
All right.
Like in a push-up.
Okay.
And you jump up like this.
All right, jump up and then straight back into the same
straight back and up.
This is not going to be easy. And then the last exercise?
Give it to us.
Ooh, okay, so we've done burpees now. We've done jump lunges. I think because we're doing speed, and I love the mountain, let's do mountain climbers. Yeah, that's a good combination of the two. You know how those are done?
Yes, I do.
All right, so we're going down the mountain climbing position, and it's as fast as you can. Bah, bah, bah.
You go.
Right. So Mzansi, you need to pay attention right now. So these are the 3 exercises that we're going to be doing to put through to the challenge. And this is how the challenge works. I forgot how many reps you're doing. 10 of each, right?
Let's make it 10, yes.
Okay, so this is how it works. 10 reps of each. Okay, you got your burpees. Well, we're starting with jump lunges. Then we got burpees, and then we've got those mountain climbers. You at home need to get up off the couch now and see if you can beat the time that we put on the board. What you can do also is maybe even send us a video. Get on our social media channel, tag Expresso, tag Adira in the challenge, and see if you can do it faster than her. What we're going to be doing, 10 reps of each, as fast as you can. Record your time, and boom, that's the magic done right there. That's the challenge for you this morning. That's how we're getting Gladiator ready. And I think there's one more question. Adira, are you ready?
I'm ready.
All right, in 3, we're starting with jump lunges, eh? 3, 2, 1, let's go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9, 10. All right, burpees. 1, 2. Oh, I can't breathe. Come on, Mzansi, stay with us now. My mic back is just flying around everywhere. Let me just put this in the pocket quickly. Whoa, keep going. Don't stop. Don't stop. You want to hit off me now. I'm catching up. Oh, Mzansi, I hope you're doing well. We're almost through our burpees. This is one of the hardest ones. Oh, keep recording that time. How many reps you on?
Done.
Ah, got one more. Woo. All right, mountain climbers, straight into it. Let's go. 10 of the best. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Adira. Wow. I don't know how you guys do it. Oh, thank you so much. I needed that. I don't know how you guys do it, but that's the challenge for you, Mzansi. See how long that took? We got just under a minute. I can't breathe. I can't talk. Darling, say goodbye.
God.
Nourish your skin with Ingram's Tissue Oil and Rich Body Care range for 48-hour rich moisture. Ingram's, your skin, your brave.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back. You're still tuned to your Feel Good Breakfast Show. Let me hit you with some facts this morning. Life is better with some freshly baked cookies. Now, Clover Fruits of the Forest is more than just a dairy snack. It's versatile to use in a variety of ways. And today we're going to be showing you how to turn it into scrumptious batch of cookies.
Ooh,
yay.
Yes.
Sounds so good.
Morning made.
Morning made. The smell. Just the thought of cookies when it's just baked and it's warm and all that gooiness paired with our beautiful dairy snack over here. You're hitting.
I love the fact that every time I come onto Expresso, you guys make sure you bring the sweets. Like, I never come here and there's health. So whenever I come here, I forget my diet. So it's important to make sure now that I fill in
100%.
the gap.
And did you see that the training session that Raul just did now? That is why we get to eat all of the sweet things. It's about balance. So we're going to train hard and eat this.
Exactly. So to start it off, we've got some flour here. These are basic, simple cookies. I love the fact that we don't have too many ingredients as well. So to start off, I've just got some flour that I'm adding brown sugar to. I love the fact that we're using brown sugar because it's got that caramelliness about it. So it goes into your cookies and gives you as a
caramelliness.
All right, to this, I've got some cold butter. The whole idea about having cold butter is because we're going to break it up with our fingers. We want to make sure that we have a nice crumbly texture. So that's all I'm going to be doing now. So I'm going to break it up with my fingers. You don't want, the whole idea is people say you want to have cold hands for this. So if you're cold-hearted, it won't work. We want cold hands.
Okay.
That's the whole idea.
I see what you did over there. I see what you did over there.
All right, so I'm just going to work these with my fingers and get a nice crumbly texture. And then we're going to roll it out. But before we do, we're going to add our Clover Fruits of the Forest dairy snack to bind it all together.
For sure. And again, comes in a variety of flavors. We are obviously using the cereal snack with this one, so it's great for breakfast. But I'm just seeing you do that, and I'm just thinking our kids would absolutely love getting their hands in this and just be like, Mom, can I try? Can I try?
You know, it's so hard getting him. He wants to get involved all the time, Jamie. My son wants to be involved in the kitchen all the time. And a part of me is like, yes, get him involved. And then the other part of me is like, who's going to clean? Because, like, yes, I'm your mother and I love you with all my heart, but aye, boy.
And he looks exactly like you, is the mini version of you. So it's a little sous chef. You have him there, but just, yeah. It's the fact of who is going to clean up after you, because now I have to clean the kitchen, then clean your hands, clean everything. I get you, girl. Sometimes it's not worth all of that, but this is an easy one, so...
It is quite an easy, simple one, tasty, gets them involved, keeps them quiet, so you can do some other stuff while they're busy, you know, doing the stuff. So in essence, this is all they'll be doing. Yes, it feels like it's going on for too long, but all you want is you want that beautiful crumbly texture. Some people even use a technique where you use the palm of your hands and flatten it out, and that also helps as well to get that beautiful crumbly texture. And so maybe while I'm doing this and getting my hands all floury, may I ask you to add just a scoop of our Clover Fruits of the Forest dairy snack into.
I was about to say, this is the first time that you ever come and I don't get to work just as I'm about to say that you let me work. But well, it's fine, you know.
Christmas comes
I love you. I love you.
Better enjoy it now, because that doesn't mean...
A cup of our Clover dairy snack going in there.
Correct. So all we want is we just want to bind it up, and we want it to be nice and a stiff dough, because we want to roll it out. We don't want it to be too soft or too runny. So I'm just gonna... In fact, can I ask you just to add
some more?
Maybe a little bit more.
Whatever you need.
Just so we can bind
it in. And then just the vitamins and the minerals of this dairy snack is going to pair so perfectly with this. Also, the creaminess of it is just going to give that rise that we need for our scrumptious cookies.
May I ask you to get involved here, darling? So I want to work with this dough, and I want to... It's not a lot of work. You're going to use the spatula and just continue doing what I'm doing. I'm going to just quickly rinse my hands.
So I'm going to keep going?
No, just with the spatula, though. So you don't have to do the same thing that I'm doing.
I just got my nails done, girl. I'm not trying to do this. I'm a modern mom. No, I'm joking. I will get in there for you.
Perfect stuff. So now I feel like the dough is at that point where we can actually start rolling it out now, because it's nice and it's coming together. I'm going to plop it over. Thank you, Mama. You've done well.
No, you get to do this, because there's no way I'm doing this. The last time I got crucified on live TV trying to roll out dough by everyone. It's just not my thing. It's not my calling, and I understand that. And sometimes you just have to do that. You have to understand that rolling out dough is just not for you, and it's not for me.
And that's okay. That's why you've got Dumi coming in to do the rolling for you.
Exactly why you're here. And I know that I just have a small job in all of these cookies, which is just to put the sugar on it, and I can
That's
do it. And add the dairy snack.
And add the dairy snack, friend. So all I'm doing is you can see it's a nice crumbly texture. Yes, it doesn't bind together too much. That's the whole idea, because you want to be able to have a crumbly cake, biscuit cookie. You don't want it to be too bound together, because what then happens is that it becomes harder to break through. So you can actually add the sugar into that now. You can sprinkle a bit of sugar on it and under it as well. And yes, I've made them quite thick. I can actually cut them a bit.
I'm so proud. I'm so proud. I have one job. And add the sugar.
There you go. And these are nice and cakey, soft, delicious, and full of those nutrients from our clover.
And also
our fruits of the forest dairy snack.
Sorry to break your word. I also see that pops of butter in there as well. So once that bakes, it's going to be beautifully just like melting with that creaminess of our dairy snack. She is the cookie, who is the cookie that thinks she is the cookie. Here we go. I think one more just so that it looks okay. And I'm just mixing all the sugar.
All right, one more for you.
There we go.
There we go.
ExpressoShow.com is where you can get your hands on the full recipe for this scrumptious baked cookies over there. Over there you can see it's beautiful, golden brown, cooked to perfection, and we hope you enjoy this treat.
Fruits of the forest from Clover just added real cereal crunch. A symphony of fruit, oats, seeds, and granola crunch. Fruits of the forest. Real fruit, real cereal, real taste.
Made with love by Clover.
On that note, let's take a look at the news, and that is from around the world, and this wraps things up on the news front. Now, Gauteng MEC for Education, Panyaza Lesufi, has stressed that the department will not repair school property damaged by pupils or the community. He said the department condemns in the strongest possible terms the burning of the school hall of the Glen Vista High School south of Johannesburg, allegedly by learners who did not want to sit for an assessment test scheduled to be written in the hall. Fortunately, the fire was extinguished before causing major damage. Learners later wrote the examination outside the hall. Meanwhile, the Department of Basic Education, the DBE, has proposed that schools continue with their lessons during the spring break to make up for time lost. The DBE and the provincial education departments are scheduled to meet today to discuss the potential cancellation of the October school holidays. This is because schools closed earlier than expected at the end of the second term due to the rising COVID numbers. Now, schools are expected to close from 1 to 11 October for the end of the third term. Moving to international news, Uganda is to take on 2,000 refugees who have fled Afghanistan after Taliban militants took power on Sunday. The deal was agreed to following a request from the US government. Uganda has a long history of welcoming refugees and is currently home to 1.3 million refugees, the third largest in the world. The new Afghan arrivals will be tested for COVID-19 before they are sent to isolation centers. The US will cover these costs. The rights of women in Afghanistan will be respected, quote, within the framework of Islamic law, the Taliban said yesterday. In the group's first news conference since taking control of the country on Sunday, a spokesperson gave no details of what these freedoms would include. Human rights groups fear women's freedoms could be eroded under rule of Islamists. The Taliban introduced or supported punishments in line with their strict interpretation of Islam's legal system, Sharia law, when it controlled Afghanistan between 1996 and 2001. And next, what the great Swiss tennis maestro got up his sleeve. Roger Federer, the Swiss maestro, is arguably the greatest tennis player of all time. His grace on the court has been called poetry in motion. However, of late his knees are really troubling him. He has pulled out of the American Open due to start soon and faces a third knee operation. But the Fed, as he is internationally known, may still have an ace up his sleeve and alternate career in table tennis. Unbelievable, right? Now check the 40-year-old showing off his table tennis skills and you'll change your mind for sure. US tennis star John Isner and Bear Grylls, British adventurer and television host, were gobsmacked to say the least. Said Isner, "Forrest Gump, eat your heart out," alluding to Tom Hanks's blockbuster movie. And Grylls said, and I quote, "I knew it. You've been secretly practicing." Sadly, only time will tell if we'll see the incredible tennis ace in action on a table tennis board. We'll see that very, very soon. From table tennis on to some of the real sport, here's Graham. Stand by.
It's a new look for the second test. We start with rugby news. Springbok head coach Jacques Ninaba has made a number of changes to his team for the second rugby championship test against Argentina, playing out at Nelson Mandela Bay this coming Saturday. He has made a total of 11 changes. That's 6 in the back line and 5 up front to the team that won last weekend. Now, Lut Diache will run out for his 50th test cap. And then Marvin Orrie will earn his first test start. And the uncapped Nicholas Janse van Rensburg has been named on the replacement bench. That match between the Spocks and Los Pumas will kick off at 5:05 on Saturday afternoon. Then it's a tough draw for the Proteas. The Proteas are scheduled to face Australia in the ICC Men's T20 World Cup opener at the Abu Dhabi International Cricket Stadium. That's on the 23rd of October this year. South Africa will face the team from Down Under in the first game of the Super 12 stage of the competition. The ICC unveiled the full schedule of the 16-team event yesterday. The Proteas have been grouped with England, Australia and the West Indies, a tough draw, and then 2 other yet-to-be-determined qualifiers. The tournament is scheduled to begin on the 17th of October, with the tournament's final being played on the 14th of November, obviously, of this year. And then finally, onto football. Bayern Munich, they've got off to a flying start. They've secured their first trophy of the brand new season and retained the German Super Cup with a 3-1 win over old foes Borussia Dortmund at the Signal Iduna Park last night. Star forward Robert Lewandowski netted twice, and then Thomas Müller hit the back of the net once to guide the team to victory. Bayern have now won all of their last 6 encounters against Dortmund, sending quite a message at this stage of the season. But that's a wrap of your sporting headlines for this morning. Crazy weather you've been hearing outside our studio all morning. Let's see what the broader perspective of the country looks like and get a bit of a global perspective as well.
Thank you so much, Steve, for that sports update. Yes, some good news with regards to climate change. Eskom said yesterday it plans to reduce its output of coal-fired power by 8,000 to 12,000 megawatts through plant closures over the next decade, a cut that amounts to some 30% of its current capacity. Eskom, Africa's largest greenhouse gas emitter, is pitching an almost 150 billion rand plan to global lenders that would see it able to shut the vast majority of its coal-fired plants by 2050 and embrace renewable energy. Eskom plans to repower Komati, which is ideally positioned to be a flagship just energy transition project. Similar projects are planned at the Grootvlei, Hendrina and Camden power plants, all of which are scheduled for closure by 2025. Now, Eskom hopes to act as an anchor market for electric vehicles, which it views as an important growth opportunity for its business. And then, of course, as many of our viewers know, we absolutely love a good sunrise. We started the day off with an inspiring quote which reads as follows: "Give every day the chance to become the most beautiful day of your life," and we couldn't agree more. Each new day is the opportunity to make the present day better one than the previous one. Again, we want to say thank you to all of our viewers that take the time to share their sunrise views with us. Now, first up this morning was Angus Murphy from Cape Town, who shared this moody image of Table Mountain in the distance, just as the cold front is hitting another morning in the mother city. And a little further up the coast, we had Chantal Budagith from Umhlanga, who shared this contrasting image to Cape Town of a sunny and gorgeous morning as the sun rises over the ocean. At 7 a.m., we had Grizzly Fox XNG from Klerksdorp, yes, that is his name, who shared this morning view of the sky as it transitions from hues of dark blues to yellow as the day begins. And then last but definitely not least, we had Rena Vasson from East London, who captured this great photo as the sun rises over the area, showing off the sky filled with scatterings of clouds as the sun peaks up behind the buildings in the area. We absolutely love seeing it, so continue sharing it with us on our social media platforms. But right now, let's have a final look at the temperatures for today. We start off with you, Polokwane. If you're out and about, do expect a low of 9 today that will peak at 25. Mbombela, for you, it ranges from 17 to 32. Sunshine can be expected for you, Pretoria, with a range of 11 to 24. For you as well, Johannesburg, a low of 10 and a high of 22 is expected. Mahikeng, 627. Klerksdorp ranges from 5 to 26. And then Kimberley can be seen with a minimum of 3 and a maximum of 23. Bloemfontein, for you, it is -1 to a high of 22. Richards Bay ranges from 17 to 26. Pietermaritzburg, partly cloudy conditions with a range of 12 to 25. And then South Africa's playground, Durban, ranges from 18 to 20. 22. Mthatha, rain is expected for you with a low of 8 and a high of 19. East London, 11, 18. Craddock can be seen with a low of 4 and a high of 20. Gqeberha, for you, it is 10, 17. George, rain is also coming your way with a minimum of 10 and a maximum of 16. The mother city, Cape Town, is already experiencing some rain, but it is a 75% chance of rain today with a low of 10 and a high of 16. Worcester, 7, 13. Sutherland, 0, 9. And then last but definitely not least, Uppington ranges from 4 to 20. Well, that is certainly where I leave your weather here on your Feel Good Breakfast Show.
Thank you so much, JB. Now for a little bit of entertainment. And this song by the Beatles is a metaphor of the struggle for the black civil rights movement during the mid-1968 period. Now, here to perform a rendition of the hit song Blackbird by the Beatles, it's Michaela Klainsmith, and she's here to take it away. All yours.
Second eyes and learn to see all your life. You are only waiting for this moment to be free. Blackbird fly, blackbird fly into the light of a dark black night. Second eyes and learn to see all your life. You were only waiting for this moment to arise. You were only waiting for this moment to arise. You were only waiting for this moment to arise.
Already I knew I'm going to get goosebumps all over, and that's just the beginning of it, guys. Don't go anywhere. Michaela will be back for 2 more performances and a lot of skin tingling.
It's your Feel Good Breakfast Show, Expresso. We're live in S3, and here's a little idea for your Sunday lunch. We've got something so easy for you, and it's Woolies' oven-ready, hassle-free and flop-proof roasts, mozzarella-filled chicken fillets served with blanched greens and burnt butter. Oh my goodness, only one person that knows how to say burnt butter properly is Chef Clem, and he is here, one of our favorites in this must-try dish. Say burnt butter. Say.
Burnt butter.
That's it. You have to actually have the power there, the burnt butter. It's got to be that way. Chef Clem, always a pleasure being with you in the kitchen. I wish we were cooking more, but it turns out we don't have to.
No, because the thing is, like, this season now, when winter's coming to an end, people have had, like, all the rainy days in, they've done all their, you know, when winter starts, you do all your curries, your stews, your soups, and they've just been cooking all winter. But now...
True, very true.
They, like, we cooked out. But now we still want to eat well. So how do we do it? The easy-to-cook range.
I actually realize why that happens. Because in winter, you want the oven to be on to heat the room. You know, you want those things to heat the room. Exactly, you want that in the house. And that makes a lot of sense. So I understand why. But now everything is frozen. Okay, we can thaw things out, and it turns out that Woolworths has done everything for us.
And the nice thing is, it's not frozen when you buy this. Because when your mom says, take out the chicken before I get... Oh, and then you didn't. And then you hear the car pull up.
That's it.
It's done.
I call it the klapper van vergelijking. It's like harder, harder. Why? I remember that. In fact,
I'll never forget. Never forget. Okay, so...
Yes.
20% of any two easy-to-cook items. So we've got the chicken, we've got the haddock, we've got the lamb. It's like, and it's quite nice because, you know, when it comes to Sunday lunch, like you said, we don't just have one thing. We have like a few things going on the table.
It's almost a show off. I remember Sunday lunches was kind of like a flex from whoever was hosting it, pre-COVID days, where you could bring a whole lot of people around. And I remember it was like, if you've got a lot of things on the plate, it's like a vision of abundance for your home.
It's a representation
even though you were like sickling in the background, as long as you had like 4 salads and like 5 proteins on the table, it'd be like, oh no, they are right here.
They're right. They're right. Okay, so the chicken goes down on a oven tray.
So here's the thing. Could you cook it in here? Is that not... Could you cook it in there?
Absolutely, but you can. Why didn't I do that?
I'm just asking for... No, I'm saying you've given us 2 ways.
No, you're right, though. Cook it, guys, at home. Take the plastic off and just put it just like this in the oven.
Well,
okay? I've started something.
Give me a second.
You can cook it in the dish.
Just give me a second.
While Carl's reading, you can also cook this in your air fryer.
This is what I like, by the way, this is me with Woolworths all the time. I just always check. Okay, all it says here is preheat oven to 180 degrees Celsius. Remove the sleeve and outer packaging. That's this little thing over here. Place the product, that's that, in the center of the oven on a baking sheet.
Look, I didn't have a lot to do.
Bake uncovered.
I didn't have a lot to do.
20 to 30 minutes. Remove from the oven, allowed to stand for 5 minutes before serving. I'm just letting you know.
I didn't have a lot to do. I needed something to do. Okay, so I took it out. But cook it in the dish. And what's also nice about the size of the dish is in some of the air fryers, it'll actually fit in there.
Yeah, it'll fit in mine.
And we don't have an air fryer yet.
Yes.
Just get one.
Yeah,
okay.
You better get with it. Okay,
so,
cool.
That goes to the oven. We can put some lemon over the top of that. So it'll get crispy, plus the lemon will start infusing into the crumb that's on there as well. That's perfect. Let's fast forward. Okay, I've got some water boiling. We're going to add some veggies.
So just a reminder, if you want to know, and this is what I would call the akkeltjies, the extra trims that Chef Clem's putting on it, you can get the recipe at woolworths.co.za, or you can go to Woolworths and get one of these and then read the back. Up to you.
Just read the back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what you can do. Okay, but we're making it, we're zhuzhing a bit. We're going bougie. I like it.
We are going to.
Yeah.
Asparagus. Do you like asparagus?
I love asparagus, and the thing is, asparagus it's got such great health benefits.
It does.
You know, with regard to if you are trying to lose a bit, etc., you're trying to get the muscle tone out there. Like at the moment, I'm trying to develop a 6-pack like Riles, and apparently I need to have more asparagus in my diet.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
So.
Whoa! That's the one.
Thank you so much.
That's the one. Okay, so we were taught that. Okay, I'm gonna keep this. I'm not gonna waste this. I'm gonna do something with this.
You
okay.
sound like every auntie.
I'm going to.
Don't throw away, boy. Yeah.
Don't. So we were taught if you want to trim asparagus, you gotta just like take it and then just bend it.
Yes.
And then it'll snap off where it's naturally a little woody. I found out that that's not true.
Oh.
We've been wasting these.
How dare we waste asparagus?
So, especially because asparagus you don't waste. Don't
yeah,
play.
You don't.
So just literally to take off the little woody ends, a little bit that have gone dry.
Yes.
And that's why they go woody, because they've been exposed to air. Just take off the smallest little bit of the end. Don't waste the asparagus. There we go. So into salted boiling water. they're gonna go, don't overcook your asparagus. It's, don't do it.
I like a bit of bite, and I know a lot of people do. You know why people overcook their asparagus? Is that often when you cook asparagus, the outside, sometimes you get that sort of thready type of texture, and you want to cook it down so you make sure that it's smooth and you bite into it, it's good. But I agree with you. You need the snap, a little bit of the snap left over.
You have to. Okay, so.
Can I chop something for you while I'm at it? I also want to chop.
Some spring onion.
What do you need here? Fine chop on this, chef.
Anything you want to do to garnish.
I'm taking your knife here.
We're going through with some tender stem broccoli, and these are great. You can eat them raw, absolutely fine.
Okay.
So they're going to go into the water at the same time as the asparagus. Then we've got some butter going here. We're just going to like lightly coat our veggies in that butter, just to burnt butter. Okay. So there's a flavor profile on its own.
So are we going to burn? I think when you need to kind of clarify, not the butter, but the burnt thing.
Please clarify.
You're welcome. Right. So the burnt butter concept. You're not exactly burning the thing so that the house is smoking out, and you're like, oh, there we go. Look there, come look in. There, got burnt butter. It's not like that. So there's something more to it, right? There's a finesse.
You're caramelizing.
Ooh, we are caramelizing.
Caramelizing the solids in the butter, and that takes on flavor. Because, guys, English today is not my language.
It's fine.
It's not.
You speak cook.
Okay,
it's fine.
So this is going to keep on going. You want it to start changing color, but keep an eye on it. You don't walk away from it now. It's going to go from being blonde to being brown in like seconds, okay?
Okay, this is good.
It's good. So keep an eye on it. Now, why is it not? You see what's great? Okay, it's going to get there, all right? In the meantime, Carl, I see you've chopped up the greens for me beautifully.
I'm just saying, if all else fails, read the back.
Just read the back. Read the back. Okay, so let's imagine that the butter has nicely turned a little brown. Yeah. Okay. In we go with our broccoli asparagus.
There it is.
Just give it a little toss and a little salt and a little squeeze of lemon, and then you're done. Okay.
Lemon and greens are best friends. I like it.
Absolutely. It just brightens the flavor, number one. It brings out the flavor of the asparagus and the broccoli. That's all you need. If you're worried about, like you said, you're working on your six-pack, if you want to dress a salad, honestly, the only thing you have to do, lemon juice. And you're done. You're done.
But a salt and lemon juice, that's all you need. That's all. The flavor that comes through there naturally in the greens.
I'm going to bring this over here. So imagine this is the one that we did.
Imagining.
And then all you're going to do is garnish it with your beautiful spring onions. Can you do it for us?
Thank you.
Your best.
May I taste? So, Chef Tim, tell me about this, because obviously, you know, when you look at these pre-prepared meals, you know, you want to get your hands in them. Apparently, there's actually quite a deal, something for you that's involved. So, what are we talking about?
20% off. Any two easy-to-cook range, which means you can buy either the lamb, the haddock, the chicken. You can decide, okay? And it's valid until the 22nd of August.
Okay, this is brilliant. I want to get a bit of everything over here.
So, another thing, chicken breast, you normally know at home, chicken breast, when you cook it, it goes dry. This has been butter brined. So that flavor's in there, the moisture's in there. So if you're normally the person who likes dark meat with the chicken, so look at Carl, he's eating chicken breast and he is flying. Like, he's that breaststroke. The Olympics are over.
This is exactly, oh my word, Tatiana Skuman.
Yeah.
Tatiana.
We're dedicating this dish to you.
Tatiana. It's going to make you Tatiana. Oh my word. So if you want it, Tatiana.
Can you do your bust down, Tatiana? Go.
What? This is actually really good. So the recipe, woolworths.co.za, special happens till 22 August, 20% off. This is going to be great. It's easy for Sunday lunch or any other time that you want it. And do remember that you can also look at the packaging. If you want to, not do the Clem way. Look at the packaging.
Just read the packaging.
Woolworths has done it for you at the back over there. Impress people by reading instructions.
Bust down, Tatiana. Go, 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 go.
Welcome back, everybody. This is your Feel Good Breakfast Show on S3. Now, spring and summer 2021 is all about finding joy in the small things. And what better way than to celebrate the return of warm days outdoors? Yes, it's going to be a hot mama summer. Now, Daniel Weekly, editor-in-chief of Modern Living, is ready to dive into summer with sustainable source cotton towels and a whole lot of other sunshine essentials. So good to have you with us.
Thank you so much.
I'm actually still mad at you, you know why? Because how dare you come in and talk about spring and summer when I'm not even over your home decor, the black and white monochrome that you hit us with a couple of weeks ago.
Thank you.
She was the one.
Thank you so much.
I want to sleep over, but I know...
I'm ready. We will have poolside sleepovers.
Talk us through it, because the colour that is right in front of me certainly is vibrant. It is bringing joy to the outside. Is this what we can expect for spring and summer?
Did we not need a little bit of cheer when it comes to colour? I mean, I know I'm dressed, obviously, appropriately for summer cheer, but illuminating yellow is one of Pantone's colours of the year, and I think you can see why. Because A, we needed the cheer. B, it's such a great, vibrant, energetic colour. I absolutely love it. And I love all the Mediterranean blues that are also coming through. And I call them Mediterranean blues mostly because I'm not going to see the Mediterranean for a really long time. But also kind of they're oceanic. They feel kind of island style. There are lots of different shades. And I think they work as a really great base against the yellow. So those are my two picks for the moment. Hot for poolside.
Great. Loving the pop colour. I even like the fact that your nails is matching the outside.
Thank you so
because
much.
we are summer ready.
We are trying.
We know South Africa filled with hot summers. Last year, I almost feel like last year, if you didn't have a floaty in your pool, you know, those unicorns, and you were just living your best life, then you weren't on trend. But what are some of the outdoor essentials that is going to be trending for this season?
So for me, it's all about being poolside and outdoors. So whether that means you don't even have to have the pool to be poolside, you can actually just make it a garden picnic if you must. I think it taps into the trend for outdoor entertaining that speaks to the fact that we want to be doing it outside in small groups. So it feels a little bit safer. But also that we get to do it as a collective that feels a little bit unbuttoned and social. So lots of like seat pads and cushions spread out poolside with blankets and throws and picnic blankets and unbreakable. So it's just super unfussy.
I'm going to live inside your house, then I'm coming outside. Are these your poolside essentials?
These are my poolside essentials. I think what I've picked out today are these sustainably sourced cotton towels. I love them. I love a pile of towels warming in the sun for like cold bodies when they jump out the pool. I'm kind of mad about melamine when it comes to outdoor dining because I think just having stuff that's unbreakable makes it so easy. You don't have to fuss then about what you're doing with your entertaining. It's just easy. I do love a wooden tray, mainly because otherwise everything's kind of off-balancing when you're putting it onto towels and onto cushions and things. And I love these. These are seat pads. They're actually cushions that come in a pack of 2. They're made from recycled fibers, and I think they're brilliant because they're super flat. They're easy to stash away when you're not using them, but great to have something to actually sit on. Plus, they make kind of a nice vibe because decor-wise, they look great. So these are my essentials, not forgetting the ice bucket, obviously.
You're such a cute mom. I would have had, you know, just paper plates just there, like, don't mess on anything, don't touch anything. Please not. I'm going to put you on the spot, as I always do. What is your best thing out of the Season 21 range?
Okay, for me, it's definitely the yellows. So I absolutely love the seat pads and the scatter cushions because I just think the colour is so, so hot. And then I'd probably go for the, you know...
Everything.
The whole lot. But the seat pads for me, I love them.
It's the seat pads for me, but it's you for me, though.
Thank you.
It's your joy, it's everything. That yellow is a vibe, and we're definitely going to be living our best life with it. Of course, for you at home, throw open those patio doors and get ready to spend your spring and summer outdoors. Of course, you can shop all your poolside essentials and so much more, and this is available at Woolworths, in stores, online, or on the app. And you know what's the best thing that pairs with a beautiful outdoor? Is some music.
I agree.
Yeah, let's do that.
We are so excited to be back with singer, songwriter, and all-round amazing human being, Michaela, who will be treating us to another acoustic performance. She's got the kind of instrument that just makes you dream about the songs that she can sing, and she is going to put it really to amazing use right now with her rendition of Billie Eilish's debut single. It's a beautiful one, Ocean Eyes. The stage is yours.
I've been watching you for some time. Can't stop thinking of your ocean eyes. Burning cities and naval skies. Fixing flares inside those ocean eyes. Your ocean eyes. No you really know how to make me cry when you give me those ocean eyes. I'm scared. And never fall for quite this high, falling into your ocean eyes, those ocean eyes. I've been walking through a world gone blind, 15 flares inside those ocean eyes. Careful creature, make friends with time. Can't stop thinking of your ocean eyes, those ocean eyes, no fail. You really know how to make me cry when you give me those ocean eyes. I'm scared, I'm scared, I'm scared. And never fall for quite this high, falling into your ocean eyes, those ocean eyes. Ocean eyes.
Wow. Woo-hoo! Just need a pocket-sized set that you can just take with you wherever you go. And he's sort of, who's on the keys?
Jeremiah Sweets and Mrs. Seth McKinnon.
Oh, Steph, I've known and seen in action a few times. Jeremiah, thank you so much. That was beautiful. That was lovely. Is this the kind of vibe? Because you seem to be at an interesting juncture in your career now where you can pretty much do anything.
Well, I try.
But this feels like your real house right there. What is the ideal for you? When do you feel the best with what kind of genre?
I really love different genres. I try to experiment with a bunch of different genres. So I don't have a specific favorite, but R&B is definitely one of them. And country music even, folky vibes. So I try and mash it all together.
Seth's brain is like, how do I do country? How do I drop a beat to country?
You can.
But your voice is haunting in the best possible way. It's just magical to see where you're going, where you've come from, yes. But as you pointed out earlier, you've only just gotten started, which is magical. Guys, thank you so much. That was beautiful. Stick around. If you want more, then please sit exactly where you are. She is coming back with another performance. And we all need a little bit with the rain that's going on outside. It's cold. We need a little bit of summer love, and it's on the way.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
I love that intro. So, welcome back to another installment of Wait For It. Wait For It. I want energy behind it. Culinary Hotline Bling!
Ding, ding, ding!
Yes, man! That's what I'm talking about. I love it. Oh, we are joined by one of our favorite chefs. As you know, Chef Clem, I brought him back. It's important. And if you have any questions on all the things kitchen, anything that you've been dealing with, sticky foodie situations, no matter what it is, this guy's the one to ask. 021 110 552. Take the number down. So as you know, it's been a culinary day, all about desserts and treats this morning. So who doesn't love a quick dessert recipe that can be prepared with minimal effort? We all love that. And you can take no time at all in preparing this, and it's delicious. So Clem has 2 quick recipes to show us this morning, especially if you're stuck and you're like, okay, what are we going to eat for dessert? What do we have in the pantry? Bah! He will clap it for you, and that's why we have Chef Clem. Are you ready?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, very quickly, today's themes for our recipes, no bake.
No bake?
Use your fridge, and that's all you need. So you're going to do a banoffee sundae for us.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
I'm ready.
I'm going to ask you to, okay, you got some caramel ready for you, caramel treat?
And I mean, you get this from the can, right?
You get it from the can.
Done.
Done. You don't need to boil condensed milk like people do.
Yes. The full spectrum thing.
Wow. Okay, we got it in the can. So I've got some bananas for you.
Okay.
And this is a great way to use also bananas when they start looking a bit like, you know?
Yeah, well, actually, that's when they get sweet and they're ready for like smoothies and baking sometimes. I think it's nice when they go a bit further. These ones look quite fresh, but
they are fresh, but they're still going to work.
We're going to go
so
for it.
if you can add that to our caramel and give it a good mash.
Okay, great.
Okay.
So do you want it chopped first and then mashed in? Cool?
Yeah, whatever's going to be easy for you to like mash it through the, the caramel.
Great. Right.
I see you also open it from, oh, you open it that way.
Yeah, why?
I open my bananas upside down.
What do you mean from the top? That way?
Okay, this is the right, this is the up, this is his
Yes. I just think that's like the handle where you can actually take it.
Yeah, and then,
so...
because have you ever done it when then the handle just snaps off?
Yeah, that's the one I do.
Okay.
Yeah, when you snap it off.
Okay, how weird.
So,
okay.
so how do you peel a banana?
Okay, first of all, you...
Culinary Hotline, bling, ting, 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 banana.
We all have these weird foodie quirks. I mean, I heard Raul say earlier this week, you cut something through the skin and then you open the skin and then what comes out. We'll ask Raul to do a demonstration of that another time.
But
how I do it is, okay, upside down.
Upside down.
Pinch it.
Pinch.
And then pull.
And pull.
Yeah.
That's cool. It's a good method.
Do you have any food quirks that you like, it's just
Pinch
weird
and pull.
that you do at home? Let me know. Let us know. Call us if you have any weird foodie quirks. That's mine.
That's great. I just hope that you don't have this conversation with anybody that doesn't know that you're talking about food.
I'm talking about bananas.
Yeah, great. Moving along.
Okay, moving along.
Let's just do this banana thing.
So, that's happening. Then we're going to create a layer of a biscuit layer. And the Woolies Crunchies, okay, they're so delicious. And Woolies got my email. They now do them in the big bag.
Okay, they got the memo that you sent them, okay?
The 700-gram bag.
I gotcha.
And, that is just so good. Okay, so that's going to be the base. You're doing the right thing. I'm happy with that.
Thank you. I just want to make sure that, so this is why they need to be extra ripe, because obviously the bananas are very fresh. So
if you want to try using this, let's see what happens.
You know what? If you do that, it's going to make a mess. But you know what? I'm all about mess. How can we do it? So we're going to gooi. Are you ready?
Let's just see how it works.
So, yes!
It's happening.
Let's do it. Look, one of the bananas is actually in
It's actually inside the thing.
Yes. Okay, this is I like. While you're saying, while you're doing that, so what are you doing over there? You're preparing our glasses.
I'm going to crush the OTs, the crunchies, sorry.
Yeah.
They're going in. And I'm making a mess. Today's theme is all about the mess.
I like the mess.
Because you learn from the messes you make in life.
Sorry, I'm really enjoying this.
It's really good. You're like.
So do you want this to be a bit more like? So do you want it chunky in there? Do you want it all smooth? You must tell me what you want.
That's the thing, though. You don't have to make it incredibly smooth.
Okay.
You still want to have some texture of banana in there. Yeah.
Okay.
But if you don't like the texture of banana, because there are those people out there, mash it completely and then mix it in, and you'll be perfectly fine.
This is great.
Okay, I'm happy with that.
It's a good idea. Are you happy with this?
I'm happy with that.
You can do it fast if you want.
Yes.
You said you wanted some.
So. Let's move things out the way here quickly.
Fantastic.
Super simple. And I like making this a day before I'm actually going to serve it, so everything can sit. We're going to go in with a layer of the caramel banana filling.
I think I did a good job mixing the banana to the caramel.
Very, very, very good job.
Oh.
Then, if I can ask you again.
No problem, I've
got some custard.
More blending.
More blending. But let's see, maybe add a little bit of this cream to that custard and then just mix it through. You can use a spoon this time, it's not going to be...
Do you want to swirl?
Show me how you swirl.
I want to show you. Right, that goes in there. Okay, beautifully. I'm ready to go.
And that's just going to thin down the custard, make it nice, light and airy, delicious. I'm trying not to make a mess, but you know what? Today's just that day.
It's that day.
Okay, that's how you do it. I
We
like
got
the swirl.
swirl.
So now if you can add a swirl to that layer. So we got biscuit, we got caramel, banana. You're gonna add a little bit of that cream and custard. You can add that. Let's just fast forward. Imagine that we did.
Yes, and then we get that.
You end up with this. Okay.
This is great.
This is after it's set in the fridge.
You know what? My phone is actually ringing here. It's on silent. Sorry, man. It's like,
vibrate.
just give me a sec. Sorry, it's on vibrate. Look at that. Just culinary hotline bling. Ting, ting, ting. Carl speaking. How can I help you? Hello. Hello. Yes. Hi. Let me put you on speaker. Great to chat to you. Welcome to our kitchen. Chef Clem's ready to answer your question.
Yeah, my question is that I'm allergic to wheat and I can't eat dairy products. So if I want to bake a cake, can I use the normal recipe or are there special recipes for wheat-free and dairy-free cake?
I got you. So I really like this question. Because, in fact, today after the show, I'm shooting a video for Woolworths on gluten-free desserts. Oh, love that question. Also, you get almond flour, which is a good substitute. You get almond flour-based desserts, which are naturally gluten-free.
Yeah.
But if you go to Woolies, they actually sell all-purpose gluten-free flour and gluten-free flour for breads and pizza dough, which is nice because that's an easy swap out. You just take out that quantity of flour that you would have in there, and you substitute it with the gluten-free flour. And I always keep it on hand because, I mean, you never know when you get a guest that's about to come through and is gluten intolerant. That works, and even the people that can tolerate gluten, they're happy with it. It tastes delicious. So go check on shelf, gluten-free all-purpose flour and gluten-free pizza and bread flour. Especially if you're gluten intolerant, have that at home. Because also, the funny thing is battering things. If you do like a batter in flour and you go egg and then breadcrumb, that little bit of flour is enough to actually give you a reaction.
It is indeed.
So having that flour on hand is the way to go. Got you on that one.
Beautiful. I hope that answered your question, and do make sure you check out the video that
coming out soon.
Going to shoot very, very soon. I think it's important for us to know exactly the alternatives, gluten-wise as well as wheat-free-wise. It's important. So, all the best to you. Thanks a lot for your question.
Thank you for your question.
We really appreciate that. You can keep it coming. We're going to get on to the second quick and easy dessert. This one's done and dusted. Remember, just to make sure that the texture's there. What have you done here? Because I know there's a step that I think we should add. So we've got the custard swirl.
That's that biscuit that I didn't know we actually had on set.
Okay,
and I crushed it myself. That's the biscuit. That's it. That's done.
And can you use any biscuit?
Any biscuit. Absolutely any biscuit. People think they want to go like a dry biscuit.
Yeah.
Just go crazy with it. Then talking about going crazy, I've got these amazing caramel meringues from Woolies. These are so delicious. I'm going to ask you.
Yes.
Just to crunch it all over the place, and don't be neat about it.
Okay. You want me to? I thought you'd never ask. So where do you want me to crunch it onto? So
over the top. That's going to be our garnish.
Over the top. Is that the garnish? Oh, you see, this is the crunch thing. That's going to be. So you're saying all over the place?
All over the place. This is. Look at that, look at that. And I feel like this is something you do when you serve it to your guests, and then you come to the table and you put it down and maybe put it on a tray.
That's actually cool. You know how they serve desserts on the table at some restaurants?
Fancy restaurants charge you 1,000 rand for that. And then you come to the desk and you do that, and you just, in just like...
But also, I mean, that dropped perfectly on top of that. In fact, that entire thing looks like it came from Woolworths.
It looks
from a magazine.
Like the cover of Taste magazine.
Yes, and
no
also
joke.
It looks like the bottom of one of the Cedarburg Mountains at the moment. Because of the cold.
Wow, yes.
Anyway,
so,
what's next?
Peppermint tart. Cream's in here. I've got my caramel, same caramel that we used earlier.
Yeah.
And that's going to be mixed through. There was a national scare that peppermint crisp was no longer going to be sold. Do you remember this?
Do you know that? You know what I used to do with peppermint crisp?
Please tell me.
My older brother and I, we used to drink tea through the peppermint crisp.
I get it.
So you have to make a straw out of it.
Nice.
We used to do it. It's such a great memory.
I dig it.
Thank you for bringing it up again.
I dig it.
And you know what? Try it home. That'll be great.
Try it.
Try it. That's lovely.
Okay.
I feel like my phone is ringing again.
Go for it. Go for it.
This is such a good day. This is great. Okay, give me a second. Culinary hotline, bling, ting, ting, ting. Carl speaking. How can I help you?
Good morning, Carl.
Hi.
I just want to know, it's Colleen.
Hello, Colleen.
Hi, Colleen.
I want to know why they never mention if they're using self-raising flour or cake flour.
I am a big fan of self-raising flour, and whenever we use it on the show, I make sure to mention self-raising flour.
Yeah.
Self-raising flour is an absolute time saver, because with normal breads, you have to wait for that yeast to activate and then for it to prove. When it comes to self-raising flour, you don't need that. It activates in the yeast in the kitchen, activates in the heat in the oven. So whenever we use self-raising flour on the show, we make sure we mention it in the actual recipe, which you can get on the website, and we mention it live, because self-raising flour, absolute champion.
Yeah, so you'll get a lot of cooking programs that'll say you take your flour and you put it in, and they don't really like sort of make sure that you know which one. And I think, so just in terms of preferences, Chef Clem, self-raising, that's more baking, making sure things rise and don't flop. And then normal flour you can use, is that the battering side of things, and that's sort of the normal flour.
And if you want to add a leavening agent, that leavening agent would be baking powder, baking soda, or yeast.
There we go.
That's it. But self-raising flour, absolute champion. Love it.
I hope that helps, Colleen.
Thanks, Colleen.
Yes,
Colleen, do you have any weird foodie quirks that you, weird food items that you like, or weird foodie things that you do?
Not weird.
She's perfect. She's perfect.
You are perfect. That's
She's
why
perfect.
we like you so much. We're glad you called.
I'm absolutely hopeless in the kitchen. But
Oh,
anyway.
no, man. No. I don't believe that. I don't believe that. Well, Colleen, keep on watching our segments, and I'm pretty sure by the end of the year, you're going to be a master cook.
And you can make that very easily. Don't worry, we'll get these recipes up for you, Colleen. Next thing you know, you're posting things. There's a sunrise photo of you during weather later. Just don't worry, we got you covered.
Thank you, Colleen.
Love your recipes anyway.
Thank you, Colleen.
Thank you. He gets them from me. It's fine,
I do.
Colleen. There we go. Have a great day. What's next? What are you calling?
Okay, so...
You've done so much while I was talking to Colleen.
I mixed
just recap, please?
Caramel, cream, and peppermint crisp goes into the bowl, then I mix it through.
Okay.
Then I did a layer of tennis biscuits, which I crushed up. You don't have to crush them. You don't have to.
You don't?
But I just did it now, just for funsies.
Okay.
I just thought about another weird food thing about me. You know that pink carnival tomato sauce that isn't really tomato sauce?
The one that stains your hands for like 10 days.
And it just runs out the bottle.
Yes.
I'm obsessed with it.
Do you love it?
Love it. Love it. Am I dropping my food credit right now?
Not at all.
I love it. It's weird.
Not at all. I think that's fine. You know, there are, like, for instance, you know that I am obsessed with penny polonies. Like, I just think that penny polonies, they will always be effective for me. I don't care what's in them. I don't care how pink they make your hands with the skin of the penny polony. It's just one of those things that I think would be, like, it's perfect with everything. But it's just when you're growing up and you can make a smoochie with it, whatever. I just think it's effective.
Have you had penny polony lasagna?
If you make me penny polony lasagna, you're going to make me cry.
It's a thing.
It's make penny polony lasagna. That is the Cape and Italy just merging in one. It's the best.
It is.
Okay, what, you're pouring some more stuff on top of that?
I'm doing layers.
Layering.
Okay, so here's the thing. Get a bigger bowl.
Get a bigger bowl.
And get 2 layers. Get that biscuit, get that peppermint filling, get the biscuit, another layer of the filling, then it's set. And you end up with this, okay? Guys, this is artistic mess today, and I don't know how long I actually have. I'm not wearing a piece today, so we're just going to go until the end of the show.
Oh, can we do the meringue thing again with that one?
Oh, please, yes.
Okay,
because
let's go. Sorry.
That's a nice thing.
You ready?
Normally you would do cream, but add that crunch. Just do it like
Are you ready? Here we go. Thank you. I don't know, I've never heard of meringue, but I think that was pretty close to it.
That is amazing.
Thank you.
That is amazing.
That's it. Wow. And these are no bake, authentic, no fake, and now you cake with this, which is great. This is gorgeous, and I think it's a crowd pleaser as well. This bit of drama at the end is phenomenal, and I think we should put all these recipes up. ExpressoShow.com, we got them for you. You don't have to do the meringue thing like I did it. You can do your own way if you want to. But I think this is a great way of just pleasing the crowd wherever you go. Chef Clem, if you bring Chef Clem along to any sort of you're visiting anywhere, he is a guaranteed crowd pleaser. Not only him as a personality, but his recipes as well.
You are the self-raising flour in my life. You just give me lift.
Am I? Thank you.
Wow.
Can I taste one of these?
Please do.
Can I taste both?
You
I
have
want
to.
to double dip.
You have to.
So I'm going to use a fork for one and a spoon for the other.
Okay, I've got another spoon for you, but you go crazy. Go.
Okay, going crazy. Which one should I try first?
Try the banana, because I know this is your second banana dessert this week.
That's correct.
Go
so
for
let's
it.
go for it. Okay, we're going to go all the way down.
Get those
we're gonna
layers.
Pull that out there, and we're going to go for it. Okay.
The banana.
Banana is giving me life.
Yes.
Caramel is massaging.
Wow. Your
and
taste
then
buds.
there's texture. Meringue is texturizing. The biscuit is also got good texture too. It's so beautiful. It is really, it's really great. I just like when you got soft and texture, you must have texture. It can't just be soft, soft, soft.
I agree.
You have to have...
You have texture in your desserts.
I'm ready for that.
Okay, go for it. Your second spoon.
Second
Peppermint tart with a meringue topping. The meringue wasn't planned, but...
I've had a lot of sugar today, letting you know.
Okay.
Okay.
If you hear Carl on the radio later this afternoon, and he's speaking a mile a second, you know why.
So, what? I actually could... I smell colors now. Hold on.
Peppermint tart, 2 layers, meringue topping. Oh. Body roll.
Oh, my word.
Feeling it.
Okay, wait, that...
Right?
That is good. So, hold on. I'm not going to double dip. I'm taking the fork now to that. No, as well. Sorry. Oh, my word.
Who needs an oven?
You know we had asparagus earlier? I just realized we don't need asparagus. This is fine.
This is fine.
This is okay. Go to expressoshow.com. Get the recipe. Please show Chef Clem and I the picture of the recipe that you've made. It's no bake. You can make this in 5 minutes. And be proud of it whenever you cook. Because we're so proud right now. And filled with sugar. Woo!
Nourish your skin with Ingram's for Men. Enriched with triple glycerine. For 48-hour moisture and no stickiness. Ingram's. Your skin, your brave.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Woo, welcome back, Mzansi. Let me tell you, I just heard a backtrack to something phenomenal that you're just about to hear. And as promised, Michaela Kleinsmith is back. Jeremiah's on the keys. We got Seth on the beats. And it's a performance you do not want to miss. And this is one called Summer Love. And it's the name which mentions everything about it. It takes us down memory lane to that first summer love. And of course, Michaela Kleinsmith is here with her song, Summer Love. Take it away.
take it back to the summer, yeah. I'm talking good love, late nights, all night, till the sunrise. Summer love is what it feels like. All nights, on the beach, holding hands. Do you feel me, baby? Oh, yeah. Stay right here with me, sipping all the time we spent. Oh, we wanna make this moment last forever. Tell me how you feel. Tell me how you feel. Good love, late nights, all night, till the sun rays. Summer love is what it feels like. All nights, on the beach, holding hands. Do you feel me, baby? Oh, yeah. Summer loving, tell me how you feel. Summer loving, tell me how you feel. Summer loving, tell me how you feel. Summer loving, yeah. Good love, late nights, all night, till the sunrise. Summer love is what it feels like. Feels like all night on the beach, holding hands. Do you feel me, baby? Tell me how you feel. Summer loving, tell me how you feel. Summer loving, tell me how you feel. Summer loving, tell me how you feel. Thank you.
Absolutely.
that was
A master on the keys, a master of the voice, a human beat maker. I mean, that's what you get, right?
I wonder if Seth can make the noises without moving his hands. That's what I really want to know. But, absolute mastery from all three of you. Thank you, Michaela. You are a gem. Thank you. Take a bow.
Take a bow,
you
indeed.
bow.
musical geniuses.
Yay.
Oh, what a spectacular day. We'll see you to do it all over again tomorrow. We love you.
love ya.
Adios.
Ciao,
Here's to baking the winter blues away and trying new adventurous recipes to put the spring back in your step. Made with love by Clover.
Nada.